Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it. My name's Jay Milne. #Blue. Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be honest. All right, here's what's going on in the Nest.
There. How's it going, everybody? Sorry, I'm just adjusting my wardrobe as we get the show started. How's your day going? What are you up to? Are you sitting at work? Like, is anybody at work today waiting to get fired? Somebody probably is, or somebody probably thinks that's going to happen to them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a tough place to be.
Have you ever thought you were going to get fired from your job? Like literally, like you thought, not just get in trouble. Like I've had days at work I was like, okay, I'll probably be spoken to about that. Or whatever. Have you ever actually thought, well, this is probably the end? I can logically see that I'm going to get fired today.
I don't believe so because my boss was my mom and dad.
And then, right.
So for the longest time.
Right. Your dad got mad at you that one day you told the story about because
Well, he's been mad at me.
Oh, okay. But there's something about loading the truck or you didn't show up for something or you lied about where you were or something like that?
I may have fibbed on why I needed the afternoon or
But
day
you were
off.
quite young at the time, were you not?
Yeah.
Like
I was 41. But
it was 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I don't think I've ever been faced with a firing. Certainly not here. I haven't come across. I mean, I was on an extended probationary period that I could have been, but
from here you had a 6 months. Most of us had a 3 months probation. You had a 3, but then Dustin cut it off after about 4.5 or 5.
Have you?
No, I've certainly had days at work where it's like, okay, I know I'm going to get into trouble, or I know I'll be told something, or situations where where I thought, okay, my boss says this to me, I'm going to push back, and that's going to lead to a disagreement.
Right.
So that's only happened a couple times in my career, but there were times where I just was kind of like, okay, I need to plant my flag a little bit here and just see what happens. But I didn't think I would get fired as a result. I certainly thought it would lead to uncomfortable or me being told by my boss, hey, Reid, I heard you. Now that's enough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it happened at Chet about a year before I left. But
I've had to fire people.
You have?
It didn't happen often, but it did happen.
From the furniture store?
Yes.
Were they stealing couches?
If you only knew.
Oh, well, you can't talk about this? Well, I guess
I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Okay, give me one occasion where you had to fire somebody, and for what?
Well, our employees would have the keys to the business.
Sure.
And one of our employees had some troubles and issues in, his personal life. And one night decided it'd be a good idea to bring him and his company back to the store after hours to fumble around and try and...
For male-female relations?
That and to get some more money.
For theft. I'm sorry. I thought you meant...
No,
okay.
And possibly that.
Oh, possibly that too. Okay.
Yeah, and this was the final straw. Let's just say this.
How did you find out about this? Videotape, admission, suspicion?
Well, when the alarm went off, because they...
he didn't have the alarm code, or he didn't turn off the... It was a he?
Yes,
right.
He was somewhat incoherent.
So shows up at his place of work well after hours.
Yeah.
Probably drunk and or high or whatever.
Yeah, probably a good mixture of both.
With a companion.
Yes.
And, okay.
And that was pretty quick.
So did you show up and...
My brother did.
Okay, your brother did. Okay.
And then the next day I was in and just said enough. Enough's enough.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Did the person protest?
Nope.
They knew that they had messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't just not even bother coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess some people think, maybe
it wasn't that bad.
But had this person, not that I'm saying that offense in itself wasn't fireable, but had they received warnings or done other things that were of
like
questionable?
This was the final straw.
Yeah.
This was the straw that broke Eeyore's back. Boy, Ben sure can't stop talking about that Piglet.
No.
Every time we talk, Piglet this, Piglet that.
this, Piglet that.
Yeah.
Piglet's talking to Eeyore.
He's infatuated
Yeah.
with
By the way,
Piglet.
I bought that game, picked up that game. I've not opened it yet, everybody. I've been busy.
Why haven't you brought it in?
I don't know, because I'm a weirdo. I don't think of stuff. When I'm leaving in the morning, I just have everything in place and then I go. So if I got to bring something extra, I don't think of it. Plus, we're pretty busy because there's a lot to, well, I guess we should put it this way. There's a lot to possibly prepare for.
Yeah.
It's like, I often get asked, well, what do you do to prepare for a show? How long does it take to prepare for a show? And there isn't really a standard length of time. I mean, today, part of our preparation for the show was we were both at Elks practice.
Yep.
Talked about some stuff, saw some stuff, and then we booked Ed Hervey for the show. So Ed's scheduled to join us at around 4:40. At 3:40 today, Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun. So the Leafs fired Craig Berube today. We don't know if Knoblauch is going to be fired today. I know there's stuff out there. Maybe it's going to happen. I don't know for sure. Certainly, it seems to be trending in that direction, especially if they have talked or trying to talk to Bruce Cassidy about coaching the Oilers. So, I mean, if something breaks, we'll have it for you, and then we'll continue to discuss them from there. We certainly recognize the possibility of what's happening. We've seen tweets and other reports and speculation. So, of course, we're going to talk coaching stories around the Edmonton Oilers today. As of the moment, from what we can tell you, Chris Knoblauch is the head coach of the team.
Correct.
If that changes in terms of a report from a reliable source or an announcement by the team, then certainly we'll be one of the first to, we'd be the first to tell you. But that's where we're at right now. But yeah, preparation for this show is like, well, this, and this, but maybe this. And then if maybe that doesn't happen, we can still talk about the maybe part of it. And of course, you can talk about it as well. Several ways to reach us, and we know that the Oilers' coaching uncertainty is topic number one. 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That's the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Tap 25 has their happy hour at River Cree Resort and Casino. $5.25 drinks. That includes beers, bottled draft, import, and domestic. Select premium well highballs and select premium wine served at Tap 25, Center Bar, Onyx, and on the casino floor. Sunday to Thursday, 9 in the morning until 7 p.m. You can email jay@edmontonsportstalk.com, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. If you'd like to write us a limerick today, something about being fired. You being fired, somebody you know being fired, a fictional story about someone being fired, someone you'd like to see fired, whatever. Something about being fired is the limerick topic du jour.
What about pottery?
That's French for soup of the day.
Oh, soup du jour. Pottery?
Oh, soup du jour. Oh, du jour doesn't mean soup of the day? No wonder whenever I went to restaurants, they looked at me oddly when I was like, I would always be like, what's your du jour?
Oh, yes. They didn't know what you were talking about.
So you can email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, jay@edmontonsportstalk.com. If you would like to post on a public forum, we have the Nasty Chat. That's the chat stream on our YouTube feed. You can post your thoughts in there, chat with us, more importantly, chat with each other. Now, if you are on YouTube this afternoon and you have not yet subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk, please do so. We're approaching 15,000 subscribers. Let's see how quickly we can get there. And, of course, give the show a like. Hit that thumbs up button.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, also other ways to consume us. Let other people know about Edmonton Sports Talk and those audio streaming apps, or getting us on YouTube, as we're still building, and spreading the word about Edmonton Sports Talk. So Steve Simmons at about 3:40 and Ed Hervey at 4:40. some of our regular topics, like our regular segments, like Word of the Day for Edmonton Public Library, buying or selling for Damon Bunting. We got fired up for Gemco, a bunch of other stuff. And if there is breaking news, we will roll with it. What we'll do is, I think at around maybe near the bottom of the hour, we'll ask a trivia question. Because we're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to see the Edmonton Stingers host the Vancouver Bandits at 7 o'clock Saturday at the Expo Center. And I think it's a relatively easy question. So Jay will get the first, I don't know, you can pick 5, 6, 10 right answers. And then probably between 4 and 4:20, we'll do a random draw for whoever gets the tickets. Sound fair?
Sounds fair.
So we do have, so the Stingers, they lost by 2 to Winnipeg.
Yeah,
the Sea Bears on Saturday. So another home game coming up this Saturday against the Vancouver Bandits. So yeah, those are the ways you can reach us. And again, we'll keep you updated, and we'll discuss things going on here with the Edmonton Oilers and things going on with the Edmonton Elks. By the way, don't forget, during the season, once we get into the regular season, the Mark Killam Show, 5 to 5:30 every Tuesday, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. So it will be part of this show, which is 3 to 6 every weekday. We'll just change the branding a little bit to the Mark Killam Show every Tuesdays at 5. We talked to him a bit about it today. He's ready to go.
He's excited.
And I said, hey, there's going to be questions from fans and listeners. He's like, yeah, bring it on. We'll talk about whatever happens in games and whatever people need to know. So we're looking forward to that. All right?
All right.
We better get this out of the way. Well, sorry, not out of the way. This is not something you get out of the way. This is something you embrace.
Get out of the way.
This is something you embrace and savor every moment of it. It's the afternoon headlines for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Stream them on iHeart today.
This is Chet Palmer with your sports report. Shifty Schaefer is the league's top freshman. The last time I saw a kid with this much potential, it was my brother-in-law before he learned how to double down. The Mountain Men can knock out the Wild Boys tonight. Hey, Jason Milne, is that Brent Burns' beard in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? The PGA at Aronimink tomorrow. Aronimink? Is this a golf course or a Sharon Lois and Bram song? I'm Chet Palmer.
As soon as I heard Aronimink, I thought of Skinnamarink Dinky Doo.
There you go. Chet's plugged in to children's music. Well, Chet's plugged into everything.
Chet, as we are all learning, Chet is plugged into everything. I just, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to pen an email to HR.
Okay.
A lot of what Chet is saying is getting a little bit risque.
Is it making you uncomfortable?
Well, I mean, asking if Brent Burns' beard is in my pocket is,
well,
okay. Let's just. Are you a fan of those big beards like that?
Would I have one?
No. Do you think they look good on men? Let's just open the door.
I would say generally no.
I agree.
I'd say there's a point where it's like too much.
Yeah, like Joe Thornton's beard thing that he has.
Yeah.
I mean, great for you. You can grow a big beard, but I just think it takes, like, Joe Thornton's a good-looking guy.
Right.
This takes away from all that. I don't know. I've never understood it. Not a fan.
I couldn't. I mean, I had a beard last year, more during kind of the middle of the hockey season, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I kept it a little longer than that.
Well,
I don't mind having a beard, but then I reached the point where I feel, okay, that's enough.
I prefer you without a beard.
How come?
You got a nice skin.
Oh yeah, okay.
You do. I mean,
I'm always itchy and red.
Well,
see, look, my eyebrow's itchy right now.
I don't know. Beards, just the big ones. They just I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person. I would say they're not. Then again, who am I one to judge the appearance of other men? I don't know. Ladies, what do you think? Massive beards on men, like down to the mid chest.
Yeah,
we're talking about
like the big,
like
beard.
Not a full beard.
One
we're talking
gotta,
like one that's
oil.
Yeah, extended down.
Like
well,
some people
well below
can do it.
Like you can't see the person's neck.
But I like the unkempt style beard where it's just all over the place. Like some people can shape it and it forms and fits their face. It works for some. Sean, in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. Quick question about the Elks pre- and post-game shows at Commonwealth.
Sure.
So Wannick and I will be doing, for Elks home games, we will be on location at Commonwealth Stadium. He asks, is it accessible to the public like Hudson's or BP's? No, it is not. It's not, a live event. You could come look through the window at us in our.
Oh, you will be visible through a window?
We will be visible. So you can come do this in the background of our shot.
Right.
Might have you escorted off the premises, but you could try.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
But it's not an open table.
That will be cool that you'll be at the home games. So that's
pumped.
That's pretty good. And we will talk about some Elks storylines, not just with Ed Hervey, but some other things that Jay has noticed. You asked Mark Killam a couple questions today. We'll get to those clips and discuss what's going on there. And anything happens with the Edmonton Oilers, we'll talk about it. And as it's like with the Oilers in this part of the world, we're also going to talk about things that haven't happened and what could happen.
Whoa, we must speculate, though.
People want to discuss that as well. I got a text from somebody I haven't heard from in probably over a year who's currently on an Alaskan cruise ship asking me about the coaching situation yesterday.
Really?
Yes. So, anyway.
Did you continue the conversation?
Yeah, we just texted
How's the
back
cruise?
and forth. Yeah, a little bit.
Have you
a
seen
little
whales?
bit. I didn't ask this person that. No.
Darn it.
780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Again, Steve Simmons coming up in about 25 minutes from the Toronto Sun. Yes, this is the gentleman who, when was this, last week? Oh, I can't get the clip right now, but he had the question to, what's Pelly's first name? Keith Pelly. Yeah, so we'll dive into that and Berube being fired.
The question heard around the world.
And coaching in general. Like Steve's been covering hockey a long time. I'm sure he'll have some thoughts on what is or could happen here in Edmonton as well. We always have an off-topic topic. If you're new to the show, this usually happens right around this time of day. And I hate to break it to some of you. It is meant to be fun and get you involved. Because, we do have a small percentage of listeners that are really offended if we have fun on the show. So we'll apologize to them. This is meant to be a fun part of the show. It's presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. Now, it is a long weekend coming up. Unfortunately, it appears the weather may be less than favorable for outdoor activity.
Well, okay,
but
it's May long weekend.
It is May long weekend.
This happens on this weekend.
Not always. Sometimes it's nice
been
out.
known to.
Sometimes it's nice out. Anyway, this could be the long weekend where you're planning a road trip or you're getting out of town or, well, that's for Edmontonians, or maybe if you're coming into town.
Sure.
I don't know. You're coming into the city. Whatever you want. But it could be driving to Jasper, driving to Banff, going to see the relatives in Bicycer. Mm-hmm. Is that where your in-laws are from?
Good one.
Did I remember that probably?
Yeah, well,
or down in Longview where Ian Tyson spent his final days. Yes, we were randomly looking up Ian Tyson's life last week on the internet. So maybe there's a longer car ride in your future,
Gotcha.
likely with family members, loved ones, your spouse. I guess a spouse would be kind of a family member at this point. What is your favorite activity on a long car ride? How do you pass the time, or especially, maybe if you have kids and maybe like younger kids, they might nap in the car, but when they're up, they got some energy. What do you do? Do you sing? Do you do trivia? Do you play I Spy? Do you have little games in the car you play? I'm not talking about like games with words, like along the lines of I Spy, or like word games, language games, stuff like that.
Unfortunately, I think the most common answer you're going to hear is just sit on my phone.
But I don't want that. I
know.
want human interaction.
Well, Reid, as you know, and as
You
our
can't
listeners
say
know,
sit on your phone.
our children don't have phones. And
Good.
That's the rule.
They never should.
So we actually do play games on a road trip.
Good.
And we'll talk, Reid. We'll have personal communication. We'll talk about each other. Talk about their lives. It's crazy. It's in depth. But the games, we still do the honking thing. Now, this is the public service announcement to truck drivers out there. I don't care if you're too busy, if you don't know, I don't know. I thought this was like worldwide, that you know what this means, like honk your damn horn. So we'll go up inside a truck and we'll the girls will roll down their window and mom will roll down and we'll all be honking and they'll honk. It's fun. It's magical. But I used to play a game, Reid. I used to play a game sometimes like by myself where I would watch the cars coming the other direction.
Okay.
And I would say, okay, there's 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. And I would say my car that I get is the first car. Do any of the second, third, or fourth cars beat that car? Like in looks?
Oh.
So if my car was like a Ferrari
Yeah.
and there were 3 pickups behind it, be like, oh, I got the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And then you start right over. And then you keep looking at the cars that
I've
are
never
coming.
heard of this before.
Yeah, it's good to put yourself to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, that helps. But it was the car game.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll let the girls choose the music. So one of them can run the DJ for 3 songs, then hand it off to the other sister, then hand it off to the other sister. That's kind of fun.
Okay. I like this from AA, the alphabet game. You pick a topic, and then you have to go through words starting A to Z that fit the topic. Like, that's a good one. Keeps the mind going. Keeps you talking to each other. Probably creates some laughs because some people are going to get harder letters than others, depending on the topic. So that's where we're going with this. Please do not say sit on your phone.
It's not the spirit of what we're looking
This is not the spirit of a family activity or with your spouse or if your loved one, even if it's just the two of you in the car.
Yeah.
Something you do maybe to pass the time, keep the energy up, stay awake or stay alert, stuff like that.
We still have a lot of family in Vegreville or outside of Vegreville.
Big Egg.
So we'll go through Elk Island Park. So there's always the Buffalo Bison game. Who spots the Buffalo or Bison
Oh,
when you're
neat.
driving
Okay.
through Elk Island Park?
We should do a show
5
from there.
points for each Bison. We should do a show from there. And my friends and I, when we used to do road trips back when we were young and cool, we would add a word in front of, like, where campers are.
You're a bad man. I didn't think you were going to bring this up.
Well,
A word.
word.
But he can't say the word, everybody.
Well, let's just say this: campers, when you see people hauling a camper, it always has a name on the back of it.
Right.
It could be like the Panther, or Sunrise, or I don't know, Duet.
Right.
Right? It's the name of. It's not the brand name, but it's the name of that series of camper.
Right.
So we would add a
filthy word in front of
filthy word.
Right, that changed the meaning of it.
Totally changed it.
Right, okay.
So it'd become the blank Panther.
That's nice, Jay.
Yeah, it was fun.
It does sound fun.
It was fun.
We probably can't
Yes.
dive into it too
Yeah,
much.
like Spency 5 Cents says, the Rockwood. The word we use would be perfect for the Rockwood.
Oh, my goodness. All right, 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can post in the nasty chat on YouTube. If you are watching us on YouTube and you have not done so already, give us a like, click the thumbs up. We try to get to 100 as quickly as possible. Who knows? Maybe we have a good day and we get to 100. And Steve Simmons coming up in about 17 or 18 minutes from the Toronto Sun. Ed Hervey scheduled to join us a little bit later on, and plenty of discussion, speculation, and who knows what else about your Edmonton Oilers. Here's Ben Thompson.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for a new head coach after parting ways with Craig Berube following 2 seasons behind the bench. The team has not yet named a replacement. The NHL announced its Calder Trophy winner earlier today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer earning the award in unanimous fashion. Schaefer finished his rookie campaign with 23 goals and 59 points while helping New York reach 91 points on the season. The NHL playoffs continue with a lone matchup as the Avalanche face the Wild. Colorado has an opportunity to eliminate Minnesota with puck drop set for 6 p.m. In MLB action, the Blue Jays close out their 3-game set against the Rays tonight after Tampa Bay claimed the first 2 games of the series. Dylan Cease gets the ball for Toronto while Griffin Jack starts the Rays. First pitch is scheduled for 5:07. Elsewhere around baseball, the Yankees and Orioles wrapped up earlier today. The Orioles take down the Yankees 7-0, and the Guardians taking down the Angels 4-2. At 4:40, we got the Rockies versus the Pirates, Nationals versus the Reds, and Phillies versus the Red Sox. And on the NBA side, the Cavaliers and Pistons continue their playoff series tonight with things tied at 2-2. Tip-off goes at 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. From custom homes to small renovations, Edmonton's top builders and contractors rely on Paramount Flooring. Their in-house team handles everything from selections to completions, keeping projects on track and on time. Visit their showroom open 7 days a week or find them at ParamountFlooring.ca. More of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up on the other side of the break. I'm Ben Thompson, and you're up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
Does a coach who had an excellent NHL playing career automatically carry more clout when he walks into a dressing room?
For me, I would say yes. All the coaches that I had in North America, and even in Europe too, they were all former players. I had Claude Julien. I had, obviously, Ron Lowe.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
We have what you're looking for. GD Liquidators is Edmonton's one-stop shop for new and used warehouse, office, and industrial items since 1987. You'll find what you want when you want it. Give us a call, visit us in-store, or check out the monthly auctions at gdliquidators.com. 100% Canadian-owned and operated. We have what you are looking for. GD Liquidators.
Your home for great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
God, I wish I could meet somebody like you online. She's got me in the friend zone.
Don't miss Morgan Jay's musical comedy May 23rd. 9 p.m. show is sold out. Second 6 p.m. show added. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
The Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for any scenario. You finished work early? Happy hour. You finished work because you accidentally hit reply all to the entire company? Big happy hour. Your boss said, great job. Happy hour. Your boss said, per my last email. Ugh, emergency happy hour. You finally closed the big deal. Happy hour. With a huge selection of ice-cold drinks and great food, the Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for whatever just happened at work. The Canadian Brewhouse. Your day just got happier.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hope you're having a great afternoon. He's Jason. I'm Reid. 3 to 6 p.m. every weekday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Portions of this hour presented by Lamley's, built for the job, made with quality craftsmanship and designed for job protection with cowboy-worthy durability. Lamley's workwear combines safety with all-day comfort, featuring brands like Ariat Work and Wrangler Rigs. Designed to withstand tough conditions and deliver performance across every job site. Visit lamleys.com/work to see how Lamley's can make your workday better.
LAMMLES.
Okay. 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email j@edmontonsportstalk.com, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com.
Let's revisit the off-topic topic for William Huff. Your favorite activity on a long car ride? Adam in Quebec City, especially the Trans-Canada between the Calgary Airport and Medicine Hat, like what I'm going to be doing this weekend, loves looking at the prairie views, the prairie scenery. Miss that so much out here as he is, I believe, in Quebec City.
Wait, so that's his activity, is just looking around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scenery watching.
I was hoping for,
well you might like Zulu's answer, Reid. Look for the initials on the old Alberta plates. Took me 13 years, but found mine the other day. So look for your initials, like JJM.
Oh, wow. What are the odds of that?
Well, he done this for 13 years, and he just found it the other day.
Okay.
Big Dave says, new segment, Jay and Reid rate beards. He says, feel free to rate mine. He's supplied a picture.
See, those are the kind you don't like.
But it is, he does keep
It's
it
quite streamlined.
in line.
Yeah. It's like an extended goatee.
What about mine?
Actually, you have a good beard.
I like that. If you're doing that, I would say that is the way to go. Like just the what do you call that? Like the 5 o'clock shadow look?
Sure. Yeah, something like that.
Barry the Cheater says, how about listening to podcasts, or is that too close to listening to your phone?
No, something with interaction. Interaction, everybody. There's humans around you.
Okay, Pineapple Profit. The game is called Make a Burger. You have to spot a cow for the burger, a wheat field for the bun, and yellow fields, canola, for the mustard. First person that can make a burger wins.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I like that.
That's not bad. Because you can go back to it.
Okay, Tasty Tom. We used to play the place game. First person would name a place, like Edmonton. The next person needs to name a place that starts with the last letter of the place that was just named. So in this case, the next player could say Neptune.
Nearlandia.
Hence, the next player would say Egypt. And then Toronto. And then Omaha. And then
interesting.
Alaska. You know what I mean? That's good.
That's
like
pretty
that.
good. Yeah. And then the first person who can't name a place gets thrown out of the moving vehicle. That's what would happen there. All right. Do you have a limerick as well, you said?
I do have a limerick. This comes in from Sobykirk.
Okay.
You got the limerick music, Ben?
Fire up, Ben. Oh, yeah, he's got it.
He's on the ball.
Coop
With
took
a beard
it.
like
Coop,
that.
Coop took it with him. Coop took the cassette with him to Vancouver.
A fluffy young fella named Mac was fired and told, don't come back. He was held to a flame with no one to blame and squashed in a graham cracker shack.
Holy crap, that's an interesting one.
That is out of left field.
That is a good one. Well, they're supposed to be kind of funny and
Good.
nonsensical. Sobykirk, also in the Nasachet, says Nearlandia shutout. Yes, way to go, Reid. I always remember that because Nearlandia, because in high school, we had a volleyball tournament and we had like a game in Nearlandia, which I'd never heard of before or since, but I guess it's still there. Isn't it just north of Edmonton?
Nearlandia?
Yeah, is it? Who hosted it? Did Morinville host it? Who hosted it?
The small Dutch hamlet in central Alberta.
I got to look this up now.
The metropolis of Nearlandia.
Yeah, it's massive. It is near where? What is
It's
near
north of Barhead.
So who? Maybe Barhead hosted the tournament. Oh no, it's not. It's way north of Barhead though.
It's directly west of Dap, Alberta,
Right.
and straight south of Vega.
Maybe we didn't have. Maybe I just have heard the name Nearlandia and like it because I feel like that's a ways away from Barhead to have games for their tournament. Well, then again, maybe they constructed facilities just for the tournament.
Reid, looking at the map and zooming in here on Nearlandia, I would say it's almost impossible that this small town has a school.
Maybe something else was there. Maybe we drove through it.
Maybe you went to the co-op.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I don't know.
I've heard good things about the Nearlandia co-op.
Yeah, all right. I could be confused. High school was a long time ago, so what can I do? All right, 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We're in the Canadian Brew House studio. Afternoons just got a serious upgrade at the Canadian Brew House. Happy hour running Monday to Saturday, 2 to 6 p.m. Deals starting at $3.99. Make the smart move and head to the Canadian Brew House. You know what I think it would be smart to do if you went to the Canadian Brew House? Just go in there and say, I would like to try the wing flavor of the month, the roasted jalapeno poblano wings. I loved them. I got to get them again. Maybe I'll get them this weekend. Maybe the entire long weekend I'll just eat wings. Forget about driving around. I'll just have helping after helping of wings.
I'd love that.
But Canadian Brew House, they got a lot of great food there, but the wing flavor of the month is always fun to try. All right. We appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. We are going to be joined by Steve Simmons in about 5 or 6 minutes from the Toronto Sun, longtime reporter there. Craig Berube fired today by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Are the Oilers on the verge of a coaching change? Or maybe they're just on the verge of firing their coach. I don't know. Were the guys talking about, like, apparently Jeff Jackson's on his way to Edmonton? He was spotted on a flight or at an airport or something like that. I mean, he lives in Toronto. By the way, does that bother anybody?
I was just going to ask you that.
Does that bother anybody?
Isn't that weird?
That executives, I don't know how common this would be around the National Hockey League or NFL or wherever, but apparently, like, Jeff Jackson lives in Toronto.
Is he here for the season? The entirety of the season?
Oh, no, he isn't. No.
What? How can you have your pulse and your finger on the team?
Well, there is something called the television you can use to watch.
Get out of here. That bah humbug. That is, you need to be in the room. You need to be present.
No, he's further removed from the on ice, but I guess still if you're kind of running things.
Yeah, isn't he one of the guys that does the things?
Yeah.
That makes the moves? That is weird. Now,
a lot of guys, hockey people, and let's face it, even managers and coaches make a lot of money. So in the offseason, they can live where they want.
In the offseason, go do whatever you want.
I mean, how many current Oilers players do you think are in the city of Edmonton right now? I'm going to say 0. Well, maybe Ekholm.
Jari?
Well, maybe Hyman, if his kids are going to school. I guess maybe I forgot about kids that could
Henrique lives here. Jari lives here.
Henrique posted some. Didn't he post some Tim Hortons thing? Wasn't he in Banff or something like that?
No, he saw Mama Stanley.
He saw Mama Stanley.
Or saw Mama Stanley at a drive-thru or something. Yeah. But by now, maybe they've gone away or they went somewhere for the weekend.
They could go for a little vacation to get some fresh air and get out of Dodge.
But if they have kids in school, do you think they stay here till the end of June? Well, I guess the last 2 years they did. And then, or do you think the kids go finish somewhere?
No.
Cottage country or Kelowna?
No.
You don't think that happens?
I would doubt it. I would say
that'd be a lot.
Let the kid have a normal school year. Yeah. Let them go through the water spray fight at the end of the year. Have the barbecue. Normal kid stuff. Yeah, it's important.
Okay, Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun coming up.
Craig Berube's run as head coach of the Maple Leafs has come to an end after 2 seasons in Toronto. The Leafs are now beginning their search for a new bench boss with no replacement named at this time. The NHL also announced the Calder Trophy winner today as Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer captured the award unanimously. Schaefer posted 23 points in 59 games in his first NHL season while helping New York finish with 91 points. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with 1 game on the schedule as the Avalanche battle the Wild. Colorado will look to eliminate Minnesota with puck drop set for 6 p.m. In Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays wrap up their 3-game series against the Rays today. Tampa Bay has already taken the opening 2 games. Dylan Cease gets the start for Toronto while Griffin Jax is on the mound for the Rays. First pitch goes at 5:07. Elsewhere around the majors, there have been 2 games wrapped up during the day. Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0, and the Guardians beat the Angels 4-2. At 4:40, we're going to see the Rockies play the Pirates, Nationals play the Reds, and the Phillies play the Red Sox. And in the NBA, the Cavaliers and Pistons square off tonight in a series deadlocked at 2. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Say the Reid Sport Medicines. Connor McDavid's got a team of specials, and you got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Say the Reid Sport Medicine. Call 780-460-9977 or visit their website at saythereidsportmed.ca to book an appointment today. Steve Simmons on the other side of the commercials. I'm Ben Thompson, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Craig Button.
Leon Draisaitl said we've gone backwards. I've been very clear. 75 to 80% of this is on management. Go and change the coach. Bruce Cassidy's a hell of a coach. Feels like everybody wants to run Chris Knoblauch out of town. So chase him out of there. Bring in a new coach. They're not going anywhere near the Stanley Cup if they don't improve the roster. Full stop.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Some of us are walking, others are biking. Together, we are accelerating the pace of MS research breakthroughs. This May, join Sentinel Storage at an MS walk in your community. Sentinel Storage, proud partner of MS Canada.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Your home for great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
God, I wish I could meet somebody like you online. She's got me in the friend zone.
Don't miss Morgan Jay's musical comedy May 23rd. 9 p.m. show is sold out. Second 6 p.m. show added. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Goodwill is
one shopper. Finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket. A deal. One donor. Letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant.
Learning.
Trying.
Building skills.
Building confidence.
Building a future.
One purchase. One donation.
One job. One choice.
Goodwill is
the power of one. The power of one. The power of one. The power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
Somewhere, someone is sitting on a patio that is literally part of the parking lot. They're hot, uncomfortable, and bored. Do not be that person. The Canadian Brewhouse has a rooftop, real turf, misters, fire tables, patio games, big screens, and zero reason to be bored. This summer, your standards are higher than a parking lot, and you know it. The Canadian Brewhouse, Canada's best patios.
Looking for flooring? Paramount Flooring has it all. Sales, service, and expert installation. With options for every style and budget, open 7 days a week. We've got you covered. Quick delivery and in-stock deals. Plus, EST listeners get 10% off. Visit ParamountFlooring.ca today.
All right, hope you're having a great Wednesday afternoon. My goodness, the wind is coming in. Yeah, it's a little windy right now, but it's supposed to get much worse later. What's that?
Thought you say, I think I hear him coming now.
Oh, the wind's coming in. There we go.
I think I hear him coming now.
All right.
Oh,
thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. We're going to go straight to the Oil Country Towing Hotline. Oil Country Towing, Edmonton's most trusted 24/7 roadside rescue team, fast, safe, and reliable for over 15 years. Whether it's game day or a snowstorm, we work as hard as your favorite team to get you going. Call 780-986-6088 for all your towing needs. From the Toronto Sun, Steve Simmons is checking in. Steve, it's Reid and Jay. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. How about you guys?
Well, we're doing great. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. We know you're a busy guy, and there's been a lot to talk about in your neck of the woods. I'm going to dive right in here. Your reaction to the dismissal of Craig Berube as the Leafs head coach today?
I think it had to happen, and I was surprised that it did happen in a way, but I thought that the way the season went and the way it fell apart, and with an analytics person coming in as the new general manager, and the Maple Leaf statistics in almost every meaningful way over the past season were very close to disastrous, that I think that you had to replace Craig, who is a fine man and I suspect a good coach under other circumstances, and someone I'm going to miss. But I was surprised that they got the go-ahead from upper, I guess, management, ownership, whatever you want to call it, to have to pay the man between $6 and $8 million for the next 2 years not coach. And I thought if anything was going to sort of stand in the way of them making the change that needed to be made, then that would be it. And that didn't happen that way. And the one thing, the way I looked at it was, if the plans of the general manager, and we don't know what those plans are yet, but if the plans of the general manager are the Leafs are going to rebuild, then you want a coach you can rebuild with. And if the plans of the general manager are you're going to retool, then I want a coach that I can retool with. And I don't think Craig Berube fits either of those at this stage of his career.
So, this was a decision ultimately made by John Chayka, the new GM of the team. Last Tuesday, your question to Keith Pelly about Chayka obviously got a lot of airplay. I mean, I even texted you last week about that. So does that affect, though, the way you see this decision? Like, can Chayka, quote unquote, be trusted making this decision? How does that weigh into this for you?
Well, here's how I look at the operation. I can question you until you get the job. When you get the job, then I'm going to question what you do with the job. So here is the first move of significance, and it's firing a coach that I thought needed to be replaced. And so it's like, okay, you've got one. There's a check mark here, and we move on from here. And so I can't, if I don't think he's the right guy for the job, it's absolutely meaningless once he has it. So now he's got to show why he's the right guy for the job, or show that he's capable of doing the job. And so that's the way I view it anyhow. And, he's made a couple of other small moves, people from different, Shane Doan has left the Leaf organization and things like that. But this was the first big move that I thought needed to be made, and I was curious whether they would be able to make it. And when I say they, I include John Chayka alongside Matt Sundin. They're doing things in tandem right now, and they met with Berube on the weekend in tandem, and that's how they're operating thus far in charge of the Maple Leafs.
Okay, Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun. I'm just going to ask you one thing about last week, and I know you've done tons of radio and interviews on it already, but you haven't been on this station. And hey, it was a talking point. When you look back on that question and the response that it got and the back and forth, and I know you're experienced and you get in there and you ask questions, like, would you do anything different, or were you surprised by the reaction to it by the public and other media?
I'm never surprised by reaction after all these years, and especially since social media became part of the equation. But here's the way I view it. I've written more than 9,000 columns, and there's not a single one that the next day I don't look at and say, I should have changed that sentence, or I should have put that quote in that spot, or I should have moved this around. And when I look at it, that's the way I view my work, quite critically often in how I go about, doing the job. Would I like to have, a couple of words back? Probably. Do I absolutely need believe the question needed to be asked? Absolutely. And what amazed me is not that it exploded, because I've seen and been part of explosions before. Normally when I'm part of explosions, it's about 80% anti-me and 20% for me. Sometimes it goes 50-50. This time, at least by the responses I've gotten, which are text messages, emails, letters, anything that you get, it's about 90-10 for me. And which was somewhat shocking a little bit, because I'm not used to being that. And I'm used to people, when you have an opinion, I always figure if you have an opinion, 50% of the people are automatically going to disagree with you, and 50% of the people are going to agree. So with this, what shocked me the most was who responded. And it was people in the business. And I don't mean our business as in radio, TV, journalism, newspaper, etc. I mean the hockey business. People in the NHL, people working general managers, working coaches, working scouts. I got a response today which, it's a little late. Sometimes, people write you late, but I got a response today, which surprised me. Not that who it came from, but it surprised me that I got it. It's a week and a day or two after the press conference, and it came from a Hall of Fame player who wrote, "Great question."
Nice.
Wow. Well, that's
what got me the night. Okay, this happened on Monday. The night of, my phone did not stop ringing. And it wasn't like my friends calling or my neighbors calling or my boss calling or anything like that. It was general managers in the NHL calling. And it was the leading hockey agents in the industry calling. And it was some of the names. If I told you all the names, you would be somewhat stunned, because I'm somewhat stunned even thinking about who sent all these messages and phone. And I'm looking at one, and there's a game on television. There's a playoff game going on, and a general manager whose team is in the game was phoning me during the game. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, your team's playing. You don't need to be doing that. But this thing exploded in a way. Again, you don't ever know how things are going to explode, or why, or what side anyone's going to be on, and you just sort of learn to live with it after all these years.
Steve Simmons joining us here on the Oil Country Towing Hotline. You ask questions for a living. That's fantastic. I want to put you into the Edmonton market and bring you in and wonder if we could get some of your insight into a question you might ask this management group, because as you know, things have been a little bit shaky here in Edmonton. Is Coach Knoblauch still the coach? What about the Bruce Cassidy situation? There's been a lot of discussion about that. But this is a management group that has been under fire, to be honest, for quite a while here in Edmonton. And it's the same management group that extended Chris Knoblauch for 3 years not that long ago, is now, by all accounts, looking to go another direction. What is a question you would ask the management group of the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, I would begin with, why haven't they found a goalie when everyone else seems to find them? And here's what I would ask Stan Bowman directly. He won 3 Stanley Cups in Chicago, one with probably the worst goalie to ever win a Stanley Cup, 2 others with a semi-average NHL goalie. Does his lack of respect for the position come from the fact that he won 3 cups without a great goaltender? And I don't think you need a great goaltender to win with the Edmonton Oilers. And I don't think that's the only problem, by the way. But I think you have to start there, because it's been how many years is this now for Stan Bowman and predecessors and the Stuart Skinner years and all that's gone on there. Look what's going on right now. Jakub Dobeš, who could have been drafted by the Oilers, by the way, has been spectacular for the Montreal Canadiens. And Freddie Anderson, who was kind of available over the past couple of years, has been fantastic for the Carolina Hurricanes. And the one that gets me the most, Colorado. They had goaltending problems. So they decided to change both goalies last season. Not only did they change both goalies, they traded basically for 2 backups on other teams and turned them into their starters. Hello, Edmonton. Where were you on all of that?
Steve, I got one more question for you here. I saw your article in the Toronto Sun just about the firing of Craig Berube. You also included in that this is, when they hire the next coach, it's going to be the 4th coach for Austin Matthews and William Nylander in 11 seasons. Okay, but then you also added about the situation here in Edmonton, that the next coach here will be the 7th coach in 12 seasons for McDavid and Draisaitl. And in Edmonton, it's an average span of 2 years. My question to you is, why, in your opinion, is the tenure for coaches in these 2 markets so short?
Not sure it's just these 2 markets. I'm sure it's any market that expects to win and doesn't. And any market that's putting... I think Edmonton's the best example of all of this, because they have the best player in the world. So you have the best player in the world. You have just about the best playoff player that anyone's ever seen on the same team. And the number of Stanley Cups, I look at my fingers, I don't have any rings. And so Connor McDavid, to me, always it's always the first. How do you compare it to? And I thought Chris Knoblauch again. I covered the Stanley Cup final with Florida the first time when it went 7 games, and I thought Chris Knoblauch did a fine job. And they did a fine job. I'll give you an example. They did a fine job with, I think, 94% penalty killing.
Yeah, they were. I think for the whole playoffs, they were only -2 or -1.
Yeah, whatever it was a ridiculous number, which comes back to the players you're using on the penalty kill plus the style of which you choose to penalty kill. And what was it this year? They were 50%
against the Ducks.
Well, yeah. There's a guy named Connor Brown, one of the better penalty killers in the National Hockey League. He was let go, or wasn't signed, let go as a free agent, wasn't signed by the Oilers, who he then moves on to New Jersey, and their penalty killing takes a dive in the dumper, and that's not the coach's doing, that's the general manager's doing. So we go back to, how do you go from 94% to 50%? How's that possible? And is that the fault of the coach? Is that the fault of whichever of your coaches is running your penalty kill? Is that the general manager's fault for not providing you with the talent? That's where you have to, that's where Jeff Jackson has to come in and break all that down and say, oh, okay, here's the problem here. This is where we need to fix this, and this is where we need to fix that. My thing with the Oilers, and I'm kind of consumed by them because I'm an enormous McDavid supporter, and I've known him for a very long time. My problem with the Oilers is they seem to be getting worse.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and they're like a diminishing asset, but they still have those. They don't just have those two guys. They have Evan Bouchard, and they have Zach Hyman, and they have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and you can go through. It's a pretty good top of a roster. How can this top of a roster be this bad? And what is it? What's missing here? That's, again, I would probably be making the coaching change too after this season in Edmonton. Because I hated what I saw of the Oilers in the series with Anaheim, and I expect so much more of that team, and yet they're not giving it to you for whatever reason. And bless those players if they get Bruce Cassidy as their coach. It reminds me of one of Steve Shutt's great lines. He said, we hated Scotty Bowman, but we liked him one day a year, the day we got our rings.
Right.
And I suspect if Bruce Cassidy goes to Edmonton, go see the jeweler and see if you can get it fitted now. Save a few dollars.
Well, that's a rare dose of optimism on these airwaves with the way things have been for the Oilers the last few weeks. Steve, I'll just wrap up here, and if you want to say something, you can, but I know you're busy. If the Oilers have an announcement tomorrow, Friday, I'll be down there. And my question to Stan Bowman would be, and maybe if a colleague gets the mic first, they'd probably beat me to it. But my question would be, 8 months ago, you told us Chris Knoblauch is the guy for 3 years beyond this. And now he's not even getting to start the extension that you signed him to. So why should we trust your instinct with Bruce Cassidy? I'd probably have a question, something like that.
Well, I could answer that one easily. Look at his record.
I know, but still, it's the GM selling us this that sold us a lot of stuff that didn't work.
Here's and you'd be fair to ask the question, but here's the thing, and I hear all the people screaming now, how is this leaked out, blah, 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 all that stuff. Here's what happens, and we've seen it in every sport and every time a coach is fired. It happened in Long Island near the end of the season. They fired Patrick Roy, and guess what? Peter DeBoer just happened to be there the next day. Well, no, you had to call Dallas. You had to get permission to talk to Peter. You had to then negotiate with him over his deal. So none of that happens in a minute. It takes some time. So you have to, if you're going to fire your coach and you think you're going to hire that guy, and the only reason you're going to fire him is because you can get somebody better, the guy better is Bruce Cassidy. And so you have to go through that process. And in this case, Vegas did which is never done, did the unusual and said, no, can't have permission. And so now somebody then leaked this out. And I suspect that somebody's an Oilers person or an agent involving himself with Bruce Cassidy. But whoever did the leak, nonetheless, it's a situation where Edmonton didn't do anything wrong to ask for permission while they have a coach already employed. Every team does that when they're firing their coach. That's business. That's how you do business in the NHL.
Steve, we're happy to have you on the show. We love talking to you. And hey, probably 90% positive reaction from our listeners to having you on. So there you go. 2 weeks in a row, you've got 90% approval. There it is.
I never did that in high school, so I'll take it now.
Hey, thank you so much. I hope we can talk to you soon again. We love having you. All the best, Steve.
I have my Western Canadian roots from my 8 years in Alberta, and I still love getting out there and talking to the people.
Right on. Steve Simmons checking in from the Toronto Sun. Excellent update on the story with the Maple Leafs. His question to Keith Pelly last week, and his view on the Edmonton Oilers. Good stuff. Wow, that was quite a clip from Steve, though.
Eddie Boy might have to clip that one.
He said if the Oilers hire Bruce Cassidy, you might as well go to the jeweler ahead of time and get your ring size.
His quote there is exactly what I've been saying yesterday and today. It's like, yeah, Cassidy may not be a player's coach, but the only day the players have to like their coach is the day that they are getting their rings. Like that to me is the biggest thing. I think they need a kick in the ass, and Cassidy's the guy for it personally.
Well, the players have to do it though. I mean, we've said with a lot of different coaches, they got to defend better. They got to defend better. They got to defend better.
For sure.
Are they willing to buy in?
For sure. That's a great question. It's just, to me, I look at Cassidy as a much different coach than all the coaches that they've had since McClellan, but back then the Oilers weren't ready for a cup at that time.
Well, I guess I don't know, Ben. Well, we'll discuss this. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at this. I understand what you're saying, Ben, but I'll have a rebuttal.
Please.
I'll buttle my for you.
We're going to pick the net, too.
Yeah. We got Jay's play of the day coming up. Okay, should I ask the Stingers question now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so here it is. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the Stingers game Saturday at 7 at the Expo Center. They're playing the Vancouver Bandits. So we'll take the first 10 right answers.
Sure.
And then we'll randomly draw from those because we think several people will get this right. 780-218-9999. You got to text the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. What does the E stand for in CEBL? Okay, that's the league the Stingers play in. What does the E stand for in CEBL? All right, here's the 4 o'clock break.
The EST Hangout.
At the same time, is it really fully good for the health?
Yeah.
And as you're drinking alcohol, you're slowly killing yourself slightly or poisoning your body.
If you don't have the 1 or 1.5 glasses of wine a day, and then at the end of the week you have like 7 glasses on one day, does that still count? Does that make it equal or no?
I believe that's binge drinking.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Worksite ready, Western tough. Lamley's Workwear is calling all tradespeople, oil and gas crews, construction workers, farmers, and hard-working Canadians. Built for the job with quality craftsmanship, job site protection, and cowboy-worthy durability. Trusted brands like Ariat Work and Wrangler Rigs, designed for performance and all-day comfort on the toughest sites. No matter the season, Lamley's has the workwear you need. Shop the full range now at lamleys.com/work.
LAMMLES.
Time for a new career in 2026? Or maybe your kid is still pondering their path. Good news! Weiss Johnson is hiring. Hi, it's Dennis, and not only are we hiring for heating and air conditioning, we're also looking for experienced plumbers and gas fitters. With the growth in residential development, there's no shortage of opportunities at Weiss Johnson. Choose your path with us. Learn from one of the industry leaders, and we will grow together. Receive great benefits and school reimbursement as well. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff. Before the first snap, before the noise, before everyone else. This is Edmonton football. The only way to experience it is being there when it happens. Every hit, catch, and touchdown. Season seats, flex packs, groups, single games. There's a way in for everyone. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year. Get your seats now at goelks.com/tickets.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Craig Berube's run as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs has come to an end after 2 seasons. The Leafs are now beginning their search for a new bench boss with no replacement named at this time. The NHL also announced the Calder Trophy winner today as Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer captured the award unanimously. Schaefer posted 23 goals and 59 points in his first season while helping New York finish with 91 points. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with one game on the schedule as the Avalanche battle the Wild. The Colorado will look to eliminate Minnesota with puck drop set for 6 p.m. In Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays wrap up their 3-game series against the Rays tonight. Tampa Bay has already taken the opening 2 games. Dylan Cease gets the start for Toronto while Griffin Jackson is on the mound for the Rays. First pitch goes at 5:07. Elsewhere around the majors, the Orioles took down the Yankees 7-0 earlier today, including the Guardians taking down the Angels. Pirates and Rockies get going at 4:40, along with Nationals and Reds and Phillies versus the Red Sox. And in the NBA playoffs, the Cavaliers and Pistons square off tonight in a series deadlocked at 2 apiece. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m. The sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood of the Duke. Locally owned and operated, serving the Duke and surrounding areas since '93. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood of the Duke. Second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon, 8 minutes after 4, along with Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. We are here every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. We're going to get to Jay's Play of the Day in a minute or so. Good chat with Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun. If you're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, thanks for using those audio streaming apps to consume us. I hope we're tasty. And remember to spread the word about Edmonton Sports Talk and how people can get us to all your friends, family, co-workers, enemies, whoever you meet. If you're on YouTube this afternoon, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already, and give the show a thumbs up. Smash that like button. We need about 28 thumbs to get to 100, which is our minimum show threshold. So if you haven't clicked the thumbs up, get in there and hit it right away. All right, so I think a pretty easy question, though I saw some wiseacres putting stuff in the nasty chat. What does the E stand for in CEBL? Of course, it is the Canadian Elite Basketball League. So Jay took the first 10 right answers.
Yeah.
He has randomly assigned them groups of numbers in groups of 10. So I will roll the D100. Was this from Corey B? One of our original and loyal nasties, so loyal he got a tattoo of my face on his body. That's true, everybody. A lot of people are disturbed right now, but it did happen. So I'll give Jay the number, and he'll give the winner. Okay?
Yeah, let's
rolling,
do it.
I
got them all listed here.
Because if people have not seen the D100, I'm holding it up here if you're on YouTube. It's kind of like a metal golf ball. It's maybe a little smaller than a golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe just a little bit.
It's
just a little.
No, it's a little bigger than a golf ball.
You think so? Well, it's golf ball-ish. Yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, it's a little bigger.
And it does have 100 sides, but it's quite round. So I kind of got to roll it and have it hit my laptop.
So we're going 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30. Okay.
Yeah, so you got the groups there.
Hit me.
So I'll kind of give it a little roll here, and it'll stop against my pen. And it is 33, Patrick Waugh.
33. That would be Chris S.
Chris S. All right. Getting the 4-pack of tickets to the Stingers against the Vancouver Bandits. 7 o'clock Saturday at the Expo Center. Second game of the season for the Stingers. 0-1 after a tough loss to the Winnipeg Sea Bears this past weekend.
That's a 4-pack. I will be in touch with you, Chris S.
Ed Hervey going to join us in about half an hour as well. The general manager of the Edmonton Elks. We were down at Elks practice today. A lot of storylines going on for them. And, of course, plenty of discussion about the Edmonton Oilers and the immediate future of some of their employees who maybe are soon going to be past employees. We'll see. But first.
It's Jay. It's play. He's Jay. It's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
All right, is presented by Play Alberta. When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Remember, you have to be 18 and older to play. And if you gamble, use your game sense.
Okay, this one is pretty straightforward, Reid. Look, 3 of the 4 games in the Colorado-Minnesota series have went over. And I don't know. I think Colorado might finish this thing off tonight. But I'm just simply going with the goals. Life's too short to bet the under, Reid, so we're going over. Colorado Avalanche, Minnesota Wild, 7 or more goals. That has been boosted to plus 110. That is a negative number normally, but with the boost from our good friends over at Play Alberta, it is at plus 110. So go to playalberta.ca or check out playalberta.ca/EST. You'll find some interesting information there. Or go to playalberta.ca, click on sports, EST specials, and you'll see a plethora of plays from early bird bets to lock shot partner parlays and much more. And Reid, always remember to use your game sense.
It's Jay. It's play. He's Jay. It's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
So it's going to be over 6.5?
Yes, sir.
Well, see, and every game's been over so far in that series?
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4 have been over.
Yeah.
And here's another little added wrinkle I'll throw in.
Oh.
The Minnesota Wild are facing elimination. And we've seen this in even non-elimination games in the playoffs, pulling the goalie down 3.
Good point.
So
why the heck not?
Yeah. Who knows? If it's 5-1, 8 minutes left, maybe the Wild pull the goalie.
Book it, Dano.
And there's an empty net goal for the Avs, and you're over all of a sudden.
I like the positivity, Reid. Positive vibes for Jay's play of the day.
Well, my positivity upsets some people. My negativity upsets some people. It's like Steve Simmons said, when you say something, probably 50% of your audience will be annoyed.
That's true.
Yeah. So, all right. Ben, what did you say that if they hired Bruce Cassidy for the first time in the McDavid-Draisaitl era, they would have what? A defensive style coach or what did
coach?
You say?
A harder coach. To me, the previous coaches weren't. I think they gave in to McDavid's and Draisaitl tendencies. When Bruce Cassidy was let go with Vegas, there were reports saying that players weren't happy with playing with him. And that's fine. And maybe that doesn't sound great, but to me, for what the Oilers need right now, I believe they need a hard coach that's going to have a system that they imply on the top guys. Now, go let them be creative in the offensive zone and let them, see the game how they see it. But this team needs to be better defensively. And I think Bruce Cassidy can help with that along with some additions to the roster. Cassidy doesn't save everything.
No.
But I think he's a better coach than Chris Knoblauch, and it's a new relationship for the top players to build with the coach.
And that's what coaching changes often come down to. It's not that the guy who's dismissed is necessarily a terrible coach.
No.
It's time for a new voice, a new approach, stressing new things, saying the same things in different ways to get players to snap to attention. I will just say this, Ben, and I've been I've been covering the team firsthand for a while now. I mean, the first season I did pre and post for Oilers broadcasts at my previous employer was 13-14 when Dallas Aikens was the coach, and then Todd McClellan came in, and we went from there. I remember when Dave Tippett came in, there was a concern. Dave Tippett's going to suck the offense out of McDavid and Draisaitl. He's going to worry so much about playing defense. He's going to take the creativity away from these guys. That never happened. They showed some improvements under Tippett. There were elements of the roster that got better. Maybe that team that didn't quite get to finish the season and came back in the bubble would have done better if not for COVID. I mean, all that type of stuff. We'll never know. Then Woodcroft comes up. Knoblauch comes in. So, maybe this is just a situation of it's time for a different voice. But every coach that ever gets hired in hockey says they're going to stress hard work and defense. I mean, those are standard things. Can you get the players to do it? Yep. When it comes specifically to McDavid and Draisaitl, I think they are both coming off years in which they were not as detailed checking-wise as they have been at other times in their career. Okay, and maybe in the playoffs it also came down to injuries to some extent, but even in the regular season. I mean, before the season, Draisaitl said he'd like to be in the Selke conversation. Well, that disappeared halfway through the second period of the second game. Pretty much.
Yes.
So, yes, you have to have a coach who can get the players to do it. You also have to have players who are ready to do it for an entire year, who are ready to lead by example when they get out there on the ice. And I'm not suggesting McDavid and Draisaitl don't do that or don't want to do it. I am suggesting they're coming off a year in which they didn't do it very well compared to other times in their career.
100%.
Now, I do like that Draisaitl said in his postseason availability a couple days after they were eliminated by Anaheim that he basically said they have to take the regular season more seriously. That they need to have, like he said, you can't play your brains out for 82 games. You can't treat a game in November like a playoff game. But you have to have nights where you lock it in.
Yeah.
Or stretches where you lock it in.
Yeah.
And so then when you do get to the playoffs, you can say to yourself, okay, you know what? We've done this, 30 times over the course of the season. So we need to have that to draw on. So, yes, if the players improve that attitude and the coach can get through to them, then fine. That could be encouraging. That could be a change.
I also think credibility is a factor in this as well. When you look at the previous head coaches McDavid and Draisaitl have had, Todd back. I don't like to include Todd in this situation because to me that team was young and they weren't a cup favorite team at that point. They were not there. So I look at this team in their window of trying to win a Stanley Cup. Okay, so to me, you go to Jay Woodcroft. He was a young coach that didn't have, he had some NHL experience, but he wasn't, an NHL head coach. Chris Knoblauch, very similar thing. Bruce Cassidy's won a Stanley Cup, and it's recent. Like this is not from a while ago. This was what 2023 with the Vegas Golden Knights. He's won a Stanley Cup. To me, when Bruce Cassidy tells Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl things to do out there on the ice and things to look out for, it's no longer, I'm not saying there's going, what do you know, coach? But it's but this is a coach that's won a Stanley Cup in the past couple of years. Oh, this is a coach that was on the Team Canada, Olympic coaching staff. This is a credible coach to me. And I think obviously, it's up to the players to go out there and play and execute the style that he's going to bring here if he does come here. But again, though, this is a short window. You only have Connor McDavid. I mean, for right now, you got next season's a huge year.
Right.
Who would I rather have? Chris Knoblauch, where you know where you're getting from him, versus Bruce Cassidy, where I think there's a lot to like about him coming to Edmonton. That's why I'm for the change, even though I think there's bigger issues around Edmonton.
All right. We'll dive into this more, of course. Happy to hear from you. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Check out the River Cree mobile app. It's free to download. Get exclusive offers and promotions. Get show tickets. Make reservations for hotel rooms and restaurants. It's safe, secure, and it's easy to use. And their website, rivercreeresort.com. Let's. Do you have some text and stuff we can read in the next segment for the Oil Understood? We'll get some audience feedback on the continued speculation and rumors about Bruce Cassidy replacing Chris Knoblauch as the Oilers head coach, which has not happened by any means. Sometimes I feel like we're talking about it as it's actually happened. It has not, but we're keeping an eye on that. Certainly nothing out from the Oilers today. Here's Ben Thompson with a sports update.
The Maple Leafs have moved on from head coach Craig Berube after 2 seasons behind the bench in Toronto. The organization has not yet announced who will take over the role moving forward. The NHL also handed out the Calder Trophy today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer unanimously earning the honor after a standout rookie season. Schaefer recorded 23 goals and 59 points while helping New York finish this year with 91 points. NHL playoff action continues tonight with one matchup on tap between the Avalanche and Wild. Colorado will try to close out the series with puck drop scheduled for 6 p.m. In MLB action, the Blue Jays played their final game of a 3-game series against the Rays tonight. Tampa Bay has won the first 2 games of the set. Dylan Cease gets the start for Toronto, while Griffin Jacks takes the mound for the Rays. First pitch goes at 5:07. Other MLB action went down earlier today. The Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0, and the Guardians take down the Angels 4-2. In about 20 minutes, the Pirates and Rockies will get going, as well as the Nationals and Reds, and the Phillies versus the Red Sox. And in the NBA playoffs tonight, the Cavaliers and Pistons continue their series with things tied at 2 games apiece. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by The Ranch. The Ranch Golf Club delivers premier conditions, top-notch service, and unmatched value every round. It's why we're Alberta's top choice for corporate golf events. Visit them at theranchgolf.com. More of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up on the other side of the break. I'm Ben Thompson. You're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Craig Button.
Leon Draisaitl said we've gone backwards. I've been very clear. 75 to 80% of this is on management. Go and change the coach. Bruce Cassidy's a hell of a coach. Feels like everybody wants to run Chris Knoblauch out of town. So chase him out of there. Bring in a new coach. They're not going anywhere near the Stanley Cup if they don't improve the roster. Full stop.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
When you cater with Royal Pizza, you're getting the same great pizzas, pastas, and salads you love, just bigger and built for a crowd. Perfect for teams, offices, or parties, Royal Pizza's catering brings real value around $10 per person. Delicious, high quality, and easy. If you like their pastas, you'll love their catering pastas even more. Visit royalpizza.ca or contact your local store for exact pricing and details.
So come on home, Royal Pizza, still making it great.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
When gambling, set a budget before you play. Stay informed and visit GameSenseAB.ca to learn how. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret, unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Jay's Play of the Day is up on playalberta.ca or the Play Alberta app. Go to EST Specials. More than just Jay's Play of the Day there, but plenty to look through. We will have Ed Hervey, GM of your Edmonton Elks, joining us in about 15 minutes, and plenty of other things to discuss, Edmonton sports-related, and a couple other meandering type things that I'm sure we'll get into before we sign off at 6 o'clock. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, great.
Did you coach last night? Or was that Monday?
No, both nights. Monday
Both
and
nights.
Tuesday nights we practice. Yeah.
So, but different teams?
Different teams.
You're a double coach.
I'm a two-time coach.
Different age groups?
Yeah. So 9 and 10-year-olds, or sorry, 10 and 11-year-olds, and then 12, 13-year-olds.
And when are your games? It's
Friday night and Saturday morning.
Because you're leaving early Fridays for the time being.
Fridays I leave because we play out in Sherwood Park at 6:30. So I leave here after the 5:40 break.
Okay.
So I can be there 20 minutes ahead. You know, you got to be on time as the coach.
Well, yeah.
Set a good
You got to
example.
set the tone.
You got to set the tone.
Right.
Whether or not the kids listen to that tone kind of seems similar to a situation we were just talking about.
780-218-9999 River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We have the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood.
You got to give us more timing. Reid, can I ask you a question?
I would like you to.
Ben, feel free to chime in. What are the quality, like you hear about Bruce Cassidy? Oh, he'll come in and do a good job, but he doesn't have a long stay. You know, he's not going to be the long-term coach, but he's going to fix this team in a short span. What are the qualities of a coach that would be considered a short-term coach, in your opinion? Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I will kind of agree with what Steve Simmons said of the Toronto Sun, who was on with us from 3:45 to 4. I think everybody in the NHL is a short-term coach.
Yes.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason we talk about the Coopers and whoever is of the world is because it's so rare. Cooper since 2016, Bednar since 2016, Brindamore since 2018. Marty St. Louis, February of 2022, is now fourth longest.
Right.
I mean, Knoblauch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Knoblauch's currently the 9th longest serving head coach since November 12th, 2023. So 2.5, well, kind of 2 2/3 seasons, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Jay. I mean, I guess maybe a lot of it is just are you able to inspire the players to play to their potential or even maybe find a new potential as quickly as possible until your message peters out.
That's kind of what I think too. With a hard coach, sometimes I think the way they coach runs out pretty quick. It's short and quick, and that's why I think there's been a lot of change. Do you guys think that the Oilers would be making this change if McDavid had a longer contract?
Oh, I haven't even thought of that, Ben. Probably.
You think so?
Yes.
If McDavid had an 8-year extension, they'd still make this change from Knoblauch to Cassidy?
I don't know.
If it happens.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know. I would there be more leash then for Knoblauch to figure it out?
I think there might be.
And would you then say, because here's what's happening now. We've talked about this. The Oilers have made it to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 seasons. Played a ton of hockey.
Yes.
Looked like it throughout the regular season. Now, I'm not saying this is an excuse. It's a fact. Whether it contributed to the way that they played, none of us really know. We can only try and come to our own conclusions. But now, if they do go out and make a coaching change, they're saying that this year was not due to fatigue. This year was just due to a lack of proper coaching or the roster construction. But next year's the year that they turn this thing around. Is that not accurate?
Well, I don't think that they'd be glossing over those other problems, but I think they would just be saying, okay, it's time for a new voice. It's time for somebody with a different approach to see if he can get the most out of these players.
Well, and that's also management's way of saying this wasn't on us.
Very true.
This is a coaching thing, which I don't agree with 100%.
Yes. Well, for sure. I mean, I think most people wouldn't agree with that.
I look back at all the moves that have happened in this past year, and I wonder if it happens if McDavid isn't. If McDavid didn't sign a 2-year extension, it was an 8-year. Yeah, I wonder about the Jari trade. I wonder if Stan Bowman felt this pressure to fix the goaltending now.
Probably did, and went out and made a
horrible deal,
an equal trade, if not worse.
Yes,
in the end. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about goaltending. What are the Oilers going to have to do? I mean, he did. Steve Simmons, who was on earlier, did reference what the Colorado Avalanche did and cleared house and brought in 2 goalies that are now playing almost equal games, at least in the regular season. And their goaltending is not really an issue in Colorado. It's not
nowhere,
but it's not the best in the NHL.
No,
but it's just a good enough goaltending pair
to keep them up there.
And you have the offensive output in Colorado.
I also think they got a little bit lucky. Like that, to be honest with you, like how often are you gonna be able to find 2 backups that turn into 2 starters?
Ben,
right?
I think that happens more than you would. It worked out.
Yes,
or it didn't work out.
Yes,
I think that happens a lot in professional sports.
But again, how much better could Oilers goalies look if they just
had proper
played
defense.
better?
Yes,
just
very
played
true.
better in front of them.
Well, Connor Ingram looked great.
I mean,
when the Oilers were defending well in front of him,
he looked better. And again,
he looked good enough, right?
Right. And here's my thing, and I'm going to be referencing these 2 goals all summer. I promise. Game 3 at Anaheim, 3-3 early in the third. The Oilers turned the puck over right inside the offensive blue line twice. 42 seconds apart. Wasn't it Draisaitl once and Bouchard the other time?
Bouchard
so
slap pass.
2 of your best players.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Because they're trying to be too fans. I mean, how many times have the Montreal Canadiens made a foolish turnover inside the offensive blue line? I can't recall it because it's at the net. It's down deep. It's go to work.
Exactly. They're not playing by the blue line. It's behind the net.
Right. So there you're putting Ingram in a situation where he winds up giving up 5 or 6 goals in that game or whatever it was. And it's like, oh my God, he gave up 6 goals in a game. His team gave up 2 2-on-1s 42 seconds apart. Just don't do that. Just take care of the puck better.
100%. To me, the glaring issue is the defensive hockey of this team. But at the same time, though, we're talking about Connor Ingram, who isn't re-signed. You have Tristan Jarry, who obviously we know we've seen in the past half of that season there where it was just horrible. from a goaltending
Who
standpoint.
was on waivers not that long ago.
Literally was on waivers. Like again, you can hope he bounces back next year, and who knows. But I mean, right now that's a negative asset. One of the worst contracts in the league right now is Tristan Jarry. It's hard to move him. So your goaltending is a question mark. I'm for bringing back Connor Ingram personally. I'm for it as long as the money is fair. But the defensive hockey needs to improve. How much change can you make to that is a tough
Well,
question.
it's okay. So then does that mean you bring in a coach that's going to change the system?
Okay, and here's what I would say. And this is what I was critical of Knoblauch and the staff was during the Anaheim series and maybe even going back to the Florida series. Not changing, right?
Yeah.
Insisting on this, in my mind, low percentage breakout that doesn't fit playoff style hockey, overly puck possession focused in the offensive zone, like wanting to pass 20 times before you shoot, as opposed to just playing a furious straight line hockey and getting it to the net. But then my other question is, do they play that way because that's how McDavid and Draisaitl want to play? Like, can a coach come in and say, "Okay, Leon and Connor, fire it in and chase it. Let's forecheck." No, coach. We need the puck. We need to have the puck on our stick. We need to touch it. We need to pass it 40 times. Trust us. We're going to set up a high percentage shot.
Well, then I would say is that coach trust me because it hasn't worked out for you yet. Let's try this way. Now, whether or not you're going to get the buy-in is the question.
Right.
From two players that have played a certain style of hockey for a long time, and it's worked out pretty damn well for them. But how well has it worked out for their team?
For sure. To me,
and they're not the only ones.
No,
here, like.
exactly, and that's where I was going with that. Is yes, McDavid and Draisaitl and Boucher, like these guys need to buy into a better defensive system, 100%. But to me, I look more at the guys around him. Right, obviously the top guys are to blame here, but so are the guys around him. And we were talking about it yesterday with the Montreal Canadiens. You're seeing Alex Newhook score a greasy one, or you're seeing Kirby Dach score. You know, like just the guys that aren't their top guys, Cole Caulfield and Suzuki's. It's not them that are playing this like greasy hockey. They're helping, but it's the bottom six. They have their identity, they have their roles, and they know their job. It feels like when I was watching the Oilers' bottom six this year, is they were trying to replicate McDavid and Draisaitl's play. And I wonder if a coach can just step in and just go, okay, yes, McDavid and Draisaitl need to be better defensively, and we're going to work on that. But you bottom six, just be simple, be hard. Have an impact on the game that doesn't necessarily, you're trying to pass it into the net. I think Cassie can help with that a little bit. And that's why I think if you make this change, I just don't think Knoblauch has the voice anymore to be able to do that. I think he's lost that a little bit.
All right, we got to get to a break. More on this, of course, probably for most of the summer. But we'll also be talking about the Edmonton Elks a lot this summer and hopefully deep into the fall. GM Ed Hervey is going to join us when we get back.
Craig Berube has been fired of his duties as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs after 2 seasons with the club. Toronto has yet to announce a replacement behind the bench. The NHL announced its Calder Trophy winner today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer taking home the award unanimously. Schaefer tallied 23 goals and 59 points in his rookie season while helping New York to a 91-point campaign. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with one game on the slate as the Avalanche take on the Wild. Colorado has a chance to advance with puck drop set for 6 p.m. In Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays conclude their 3-game series against the Rays tonight after dropping the first 2 contests. Dylan Cease gets the nod for Toronto while Griffin Jack starts for Tampa Bay. First pitch is scheduled for 5:07. Elsewhere around the majors, the Orioles took down the Yankees 7-0 earlier today, and the Guardians took down the Angels 4-2. In about 2 minutes here, the Pirates and Rockies will get going, the Reds and Nationals, and Phillies and Red Sox. And on the hardwood tonight, the Cavaliers and Pistons clash in Game 5 of their playoff series, with the series being tied 2-2. Tip-off goes at 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. It doesn't start on game day, it starts before kickoff. Get your single game tickets and be there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. Lock in your seats now at goelks.com/tickets. Elks GM Ed Hervey on the other side of the break. I'm Ben Thompson. You're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
Kobe, though, is a guy that I would take over LeBron.
Are you kidding me?
There it is. I think he's upset. Is that the top 5?
Yeah, I think it's the top 5 comment. Here we go.
Give me Bill Russell's stats. Give me Will Chamberlain's stats. If somebody wants to put Wilt or Bill Russell ahead of LeBron, I'm not going to argue.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Hey sports fans, I'm Alistair Johnston with Canada Soccer. The biggest sporting event in the world is coming to Canada this summer, and we hope that you're just as excited as we are. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I can't wait to share it with the whole country.
Sentinel Storage, official storage partner of Canada Soccer.
Goodwill is
one shopper, finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket, a deal, one donor, letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant,
Learning.
trying,
Building skills.
building confidence,
Building a future.
One purchase, one donation,
one job, one choice.
Goodwill is
the power of one, the power of one, the power of one,
The power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey sports fans, I'm Alistair Johnston with Canada Soccer. The biggest sporting event in the world is coming to Canada this summer, and we hope that you're just as excited as we are. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I can't wait to share it with the whole country.
Sentinel Storage, official storage partner of Canada Soccer.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. Blue Jays starting here at the top of the hour, 6 o'clock hockey game tonight. The Avalanche trying to eliminate the Wild, and a lot to keep an eye on, of course, with the Oilers and with your Edmonton Elks, who are presenting this next segment. The only way to experience it is being there when it happens. Get your season seats today. Our city, our year. Lock in your season seats at goelks.com/season seats. And pleased to be joined by the general manager of the EEs, Ed Hervey, checking in. Ed, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well.
We're doing fantastic. It's nice to see you down at Clark Stadium this morning. Look, I want to kick it off with just this year, this training camp. How different is it? This is now a team that I would say the core of this group is now heading into year 2. There's continuity. There's continuity with the coaches, with the management. How much is that making a difference in your eyes on the field this early into training camp?
Yeah, I think it's making a huge difference, right? With the team, the players with the coaches with management, everyone, the familiarity within the organization and the understanding of not only the expectation but just the work habits of everyone. I think kind of people have kind of shown up with the workman's mindset of getting it done. We feel confident in our what we have here. I think the players also feel very confident in their what they know they can be if they work at it. When you talk about it feeling different, we believe that we're on the right path. But many of the fans who have come down from to watch us practice, and many of who have watched this team over the last few years have even expressed to us that it feels different to them. So, that's more of the validation, as I see it, is that someone is telling us what they feel, whereas, we can be locked in and believe that it's different, and we do believe that it's different, but it feels good to know that the people who actually support this team and who watched this team for many years, when they come out, they're expressing those sentiments. It makes us feel like we're on the right track here.
Elks General Manager Ed Hervey joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Yesterday was the first session of training camp where players were in full equipment, and boy, you could tell. There was some action. There were some extracurricular activities. Ed, you've been around football for most of your life. It's not foreign in a training camp to have extracurricular activities, especially when it's the first time being in full pads. But what do you think of that? What are your thoughts on those emotional outbursts that happen during training camp?
Well, football is a physical game. And, the players, as they're practicing with one another on Sunday and Monday, there's still a level of physicality without the pads that's happening. And then you get that to the point to where guys are chomping at the bit to get into pads. I'll use the example of running, the inside run with no pads. Well, the defense tends to play fast, and the offense, they can only do so much without, the hurting someone or people getting hurt. And then the next day comes, and then all of a sudden there's more for the old lineman to grab onto and to move, and things change, and people get a little bit frustrated. And the extracurricular stuff is, as I say it, like I'm all for it. I like a chippy team. I like a team within the rules. I like teams that are competitive. That to me is a sign of competitiveness, and just excited about the fact that guys are take pride in what they do and take pride in their work, and want to push the envelope a little bit. Again, Mark and his staff do a great job of toning that stuff down with the guys and allowing the line to be swayed with respect to, there's a level of physicality we want you to play with, protect your teammate. We're still on the same team and shake hands, but that's the mentality and the physicality and the level of play we want to carry into this season. And so far is off to a great start with camp.
A player that had stood out, thus far in spring camp was a player that didn't see a lot of action last year. And I'm talking about Tamari Fox, signed with the Elks in 2025, missed most of last season with, I believe, an ankle injury. Ed, is this the kind of player that when you say Tamari Fox in 6 months, every fan in Edmonton's going to know who this young man is?
The thing is, he was on that trajectory last year, and unfortunately sustained an injury that cut his season short, and he missed the rest of the year. And but watching him in camp, he's picked up where he's left off. He plays with high motor. He's physical. He can get under your skin if you're an offensive lineman. You're glad that he's on our team. There's a lot to be positive about with how he plays and the expectations from him. But there is competition around him, which is good, right? There's Jordan Williams and there's Brinkman and those other guys on the interior. But we feel very good about our interior defensive line play so far, and Tamari has flashed consistently from the outset of camp, and if he can keep it up, there's no question that he'll have some impact in not only on the defensive line, but he'll have some impact in how the success of our season if he continues to play at this level.
Ed Hervey, Elks General Manager, joining us on the Oil Country Towing video hotline. I want to ask you about another defensive lineman, Ed, and you talked to us about this player last year because he received a one-year suspension. Darian Newell is back this year. I can't imagine how difficult that was for him sitting out. Like, what are you seeing from him, or even what did you see him through that whole process of not being able to play for a year, and now he's back out there and trying to be a part of the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he's been banged up a little bit here the last day or so, but he's, for the most part, like he's shown flashes of what we expected him to be. And, he came in great shape, came in with the mindset of looking forward, not back, kept his mouth closed as far as the situation and accepted his time. If you ask me, a year is a long time to really have to sit out for what happened with him, whether he did it to himself or accidentally did it. But that, neither here nor there. But the shape that he's come into camp with has proven that he didn't spend the offseason just kind of sitting around with a woe is me attitude. He came in great shape. Now, again, it's going to take some adjustment because he's been out of football for a year. But I anticipate when he does come back, from his setback, that he'll continue to progress and definitely be a valuable contributor to us at some point this year.
All right, awesome. Couple names to keep an eye on for sure. I'm going to ask you this, Ed, and I realize you may tell me, Reid, as usual, you're getting ahead of yourself. But it is a talking point amongst fans because it was headlines when it was announced. Next year, the playoff format is changing, where 8 of the 9 teams will have a chance at the Grey Cup. Obviously, so the higher up you finish, you might have a second life in the postseason. What were you thinking about this change? What do you think of it? I'm just curious.
I mean, the league has presented new ideas to help evolve the league, to give the league, make the league more interesting, to give fans more games, to be more excitement, and I guess everything else, give the playoffs a little bit of a chance, some spice to it, right? That it gives some teams an opportunity. I think if you look back, some of the hot teams that didn't make the playoffs, it would have been interesting to see how those teams would have done if they got a chance to be in. And obviously, whoever finishes in first, they have to buckle up and play as well. You don't get to wait for anyone. The first round at least, you have to earn the bye. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how all that works. But you're right, Reid. I'm more focused on what we do this year and just getting ourselves on the path of being competing and getting to the postseason this year and giving our fans what they deserve here. But when you look ahead and you see the changes that are coming, I mean, they're quite interesting. Not only to those of us who work in the industry, but definitely the conversation sparked conversation throughout the league, and people are paying attention to what the CFL is doing. But until we have a chance to really see it in action, that'll be the time when the debates, whether it's good or bad. But I'm looking forward to at least seeing what it looks like when we get started.
Right on. Okay. Ed, as always, we appreciate your time. It was good to see you at practice this morning as well. Clark Stadium, that's going to be a fun environment for a preseason game in a couple weeks as well. It'll be a different look for the players and the fans for sure. Really appreciate you checking in, and we hope we can talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. And great seeing you guys as well.
Ed Hervey on the Oil Country Towing Hotline, GM of your Edmonton Elks. So, all right, couple players. So I asked him about Darren Newell. He was drafted by the Elks last year and was suspended because he tested positive for a banned substance during the combine.
Yep.
Okay, the Elks still picked him. They said we believe in him. As Ed said, he did a good job handling it. He's moving forward. A lot of potential out of Queens. Like, huge guy. What is he, about 6'3", 285-ish?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
So we'll see what happens with him. And then you asked him about, I think, a player that people who should remember his name too.
Yeah, Tamari Fox, who is a defensive tackle. They call him a 3-tech. This is an inside defensive player. And I wonder if a player like this gave them the opportunity to maybe move on from a player like Jake Serezna. Okay, because the things he's doing inside, and I love what Ed said about him, because you don't know this as someone watching training camp, or a fan that's in the stands watching training camp, you don't know that he gets under the skin of offensive linemen.
Right.
And that is such a beautiful thing to hear because that is a part of the game. That's why I've been so high on Carter O'Donnell and this Coulter Woodmansey apparently has the same hot streak to him, which I love. Feed that to the fan base. Feed it. Because those are the kind of players that will go the extra mile for the organization. And Tamari Fox, number 95, I'm hearing a lot of really positive praise coming his way out of camp.
Okay. So some names to remember there, which is great stuff.
Also, I heard a lot of high praise from more than one source today about Golden Bear product Carter Kettle, who was on our show, Carter Kettle, that of Grand Prairie, Alberta.
Yeah.
Went to the University of Alberta, got drafted by the Elks. Apparently, he is performing outside of his weight class thus far in training camp. Very, very good to see.
Okay.
I had somebody very, very knowledgeable, tell me that this is the best receiver that has come out of the University of Alberta in over 20 years. And he said, without the last name, even including the last name of Ralph.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The very high praise. So good for Carter Kettle. That's fantastic to see.
Couple other things here with the Elks. Jay asked Mark Killam a couple questions today about seeing more cohesion at training camp.
No doubt. That continuity, not just with the coaching staff, but in the position groups. There's a real clarity in as far as the schemes and the stuff and the personnel and, our personalities. So they know what they're walking into. We had a couple of our position groups got really tight at the end of the last year. And, so they had those bonds already. And now, you sprinkle in a few of these new players that fit the kind of mentality that we're trying to bring. So it's an easy adjustment for those.
All right. And also, Jay, you asked who has set the tone in terms of players at camp, a position group or whoever.
Yeah, I don't really want to single out one. I think it's the veteran players. I think I really, all offseason now, there was a, constant line of communication with those guys about what we expected when they got back. And, I mean, the first 3 days of practice completely reflected that. So, I was pleased that, they took it to heart, but now it's there. We did that on purpose so that we can take a step.
Abuski in the nasty chat, who was there today, he says, my expert observation about the receivers at Elks camp, lots of tall guys. I noticed that too. Like I asked you a couple guys, like, who's that? Who's that?
Size.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of size at that position, which is that's good. Great. And not just Milt the Stilt tall. I'm talking guys with arms as wide as my hips.
Yeah.
These are big boys. So I like what I've been seeing, Reid, from camp. But, this was your first time down there today thus far.
Yeah. Now, this was not, it was more of a walkthrough today.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of, not slower things, but maybe more deliberate.
But my biggest takeaway from this is it just seems more streamlined than it was last year. And you say, well, duh, Jay, it's the same, But I just want to make that clear that where the Elks may have been 2 weeks into training camp last year, where they are right now, 3 days in, okay? That makes a huge difference in terms of your installation of your offense, making sure everybody's on the same page defensively. I think they're further ahead right now than they were at halfway through training camp last year, Reid.
All right, and of course, we're going to have the Green and Gold kickoff show and Green and Gold postgame show before and after every Elks game, respectively, with Matt Iwanek and Jason Milne. And during the regular season, Tuesdays at 5 o'clock right here on EST, the Mark Killam Show. Mark Killam, the head coach of the Elks, is going to join Jay and me and talk about the previous week's game and look ahead to the upcoming opponent and talk about Elks storylines. It's going to be a great opportunity, to dive into some of the details of games and find out a little bit more about players. So we look forward to having that.
Can I just say I really appreciated you mentioning to him today that it is the Mark Killam Show. And then I said, well, we have a graphic made up and everything.
Yes.
He was very excited about that. And then you added that we might even get a Mark Killam jingle.
Well,
can you imagine?
I think I was joking.
I know. I think it would be rather unprofessional, but it would be pretty cool.
Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services
that Albertans rely on every day. Next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. All right, 5 o'clock break.
2 guys and a goalie.
Does a coach who had an excellent NHL playing career automatically carry more clout when he walks into a dressing room?
For me, I would say yes. All the coaches that I had in North America, and even in Europe too, they were all former players. I had Claude Julien. I had, obviously, Ron Lowe.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
The Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for any scenario. You finished work early? Happy hour. You finished work because you accidentally hit reply all to the entire company? Big happy hour. Your boss said, great job. Happy hour. Your boss said, per my last email. Ugh, emergency happy hour. You finally closed the big deal. Happy hour. With a huge selection of ice cold drinks and great food, the Canadian Brewhouse has a happy hour for whatever just happened at work. The Canadian Brewhouse. Your day just got happier.
Your home for great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
God, I wish I could meet somebody like you online. She's got me in the friend zone.
Don't miss Morgan Jay's musical comedy May 23rd. 9 p.m. show is sold out. Second 6 p.m. show added. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Some of us are walking, others are biking. Together, we are accelerating the pace of MS research breakthroughs. This May, join Sentinel Storage at an MS walk in your community. Sentinel Storage, proud partner of MS Canada.
Time for a new career in 2026? Or maybe your kid is still pondering their path. Good news! Weiss Johnson is hiring. It's Dennis, and not only are we hiring for heating and air conditioning, we're also looking for experienced plumbers and gas fitters. With the growth in residential development, there's no shortage of opportunities at Weiss Johnson. Choose your path with us. Learn from one of the industry leaders, and we will grow together. Receive great benefits and school reimbursement as well. Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have fired head coach Craig Berube after 2 seasons behind the bench. The team has not yet named a replacement as the search for a new head coach begins. The NHL also announced a Calder Trophy winner today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer earning unanimous honors after a stellar first season. Schaefer finished the year with 23 goals and 59 points while helping New York post a 91-point season. NHL playoff action continues with a lone game between the Avalanche and Wild. Colorado will look to eliminate Minnesota with puck drop set for 6 p.m. And in Vegas, Brayden McNabb has been suspended and will miss Game 6 of his series. McNabb was suspended for his interference on Anaheim's Ryan Poehling. In MLB action, the Blue Jays wrap up their 3-game series against the Rays tonight. Tampa Bay has already claimed the first 2 games of the series. Dylan Cease gets the start for Toronto, while Griffin Jacks takes them out for the Rays. First pitch goes in about 4 minutes. There's also other action around the major leagues going down today. The Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0, and the Guardians beat the Angels 4-2 earlier today. Rockies and Pirates has been delayed. The Reds are up 5-0 on the Nationals in the bottom of the first, and it's 0-0 in the top of the second between the Phillies and the Red Sox. And in the NBA playoffs, the Cavaliers and Pistons continue their series tonight with things tied at 2 games apiece. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m. Final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Great to have Ed Hervey, GM of the Edmonton Elks, on the show. Earlier, Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun checked in talking about Berube and Oilers stories and asking questions at news conferences and all that fun stuff. You missed anything on the show, don't forget to sign up for the Reid Wilkins Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or if you go into Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube, you can find all our shows archived there, so you can jump into a segment that you might want to watch. Remember, if you are on YouTube this afternoon and you have not yet clicked the thumbs up button, please do it now.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
We want to get to at least 100 thumbs every show for two reasons. First of all, it's fun, and it does help. It does help build the algorithm for the show and suggest it to more people, which helps build our audience. And no, I'm not going to apologize for trying to sell our show and the station that I work for.
Why would you apologize?
Yeah, I think it's a great product, and I think if you come to us and more people come to us, they're going to enjoy and appreciate what they hear. And then once you give us the thumbs up, then click the share button.
Do you believe in life after love?
And that'll generate a link for you. And you can email or text that link off to several people in your sphere of influence and get them involved in the show.
Sphere of influence?
In the show as well. Portions of this hour presented by Commonwealth Stadium. Get your game face ready, Edmonton. The Elks are back at Commonwealth Stadium for another electrifying CFL season. Experience the action live at Canada's largest outdoor stadium. Football, entertainment, and game day energy like no other. Grab your tickets now at goelks.com and don't miss a moment. Okay, 780-218-9999 is how you can text us, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, post in the nasty chat on YouTube. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. If you are just tuning in or you've had a busy day, you want an update on the Edmonton Oilers, I can tell you this. We're talking about the speculation. We're talking about if there is a new coach, what he might have to do or try to do. But as of the moment, we can tell you that Chris Knoblauch is the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. There's been nothing announced. We can tell you that, as you've probably heard, Craig Berube, and Ben's been mentioning in his updates, is not the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, here's my wild prediction of the day. Let's get into this for buying or selling for Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Okay, how about this? Here's the wild Wilkins prediction of the day.
Do it.
Cassidy coaches Oilers.
Gotcha.
Berube coaches LA. Knoblauch goes to the Leafs.
Oh.
How about that?
Whoa.
How about that for the coaching carousel?
You don't actually believe that, do you?
Why wouldn't I believe it?
Do you think Knoblauch is up there in terms of coaches in markets where they're looking for a new coach?
Maybe that's what Shaka does.
Want to hear mine?
Yes, I want to hear yours, of course, Ben.
Bruce Cassidy, Edmonton.
Yes.
Craig Berube, LA.
Okay.
Jay Woodcroft, Toronto.
Jay Woodcroft, Toronto. You think Woody's moved that much up?
I think
the ranks that quickly?
I think teams like what he's done in Anaheim.
Okay.
And Knoblauch.
How much of Anaheim's success do you think is Woodcroft?
Not a lot, but some team will overrate it. Toronto.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to hear mine?
Yes.
Bruce Cassidy, Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Jay Woodcroft, LA. Peter Laviolette, Edmonton.
That'd be interesting because we haven't been hearing much about Laviolette. So Woodcroft, LA, because of Holland.
Sure. Why not? I've seen his name being rumored. I think TSN had a poll up earlier of who's going to be the next, or what the odds are for the next Toronto Maple Leafs head coach.
Right.
And it was overwhelmingly in support of Bruce Cassidy.
Well, he's the biggest name out there. He's the most successful name out there.
I think it's what Leafs fans want.
I mean, Laviolette has been to the final 3 times and won it once, I think, because he won it with the Canes. Didn't he lose it with Nashville and lose it with Philly?
Yes.
Am I missing something? So that's interesting.
Okay, let's put it. You said it. You think Bruce Cassidy is the most capable coach available right now?
Okay, well, Evason's a good coach. He's out there.
Sure. But let's just focus
I would
on...
personally, I would not touch Patrick Waugh.
Oh, okay.
I just think there seems to be too much
where there's smoke, there's fire,
garbage around there.
Okay, so for Bruce Cassidy, if you're put yourself in Bruce Cassidy's shoes, of the LA Kings, Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Edmonton Oilers, which team is currently most Stanley Cup final or Stanley Cup winning ready? Which roster?
Sorry, out of all the teams that are needing coach right now?
Like, let's just say LA, Toronto, and Edmonton.
Edmonton.
I think it's not even close.
It's not even close.
The expectation. I wouldn't say LA because, Kopitar's leaving.
Yeah, the expectation next year for the Oilers is to win the Stanley Cup. Leafs and LA, I think they're both looking to make playoffs next year is probably their ideal.
Well, and that, as Steve Simmons said earlier on the show, it depends on what direction John Chayka is going to take the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is this a full-blown rebuild? Well, you're going to have to hire a special coach that's ready for that rebuild, right? Not a proven thoroughbred, Reid. You're going to have to get more of a 4-H horse.
Right. Yes. Dressage? Is that what we're talking about?
Dressage is pretty fancy.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, I also think we have to discuss, or we should at least think about it, that if Cassidy coaches the Oilers, then there's a whole new staff, right? I think we would assume that all the assistants would be gone.
Yep.
So that's something else as well. Who does Cassidy bring in? I don't know who he had with him in Vegas, or if he's got kind of a right-hand man like Woodcroft was for McClellan for a while. I don't know if there's anybody like that.
What would you put the percentages at, Reid, that Chris Knoblauch is the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers starting next season? Because you can't rule that
zero.
out.
No, I can't rule it out.
Can't rule it out. Matt had his answer earlier.
Well, Matt, I know.
Do you know?
Well, I will say 17.
He put it less than 1.
I'm not sure it's that low. Even though I know there's speculation that Woodcroft is going to be, or not Woodcroft, that Knoblauch is going to be fired today, and that's reasonable that could happen. Maybe it's already happened and it just hasn't been announced. We haven't seen anything,
and that's why that percentage was that low. He said if the reports didn't come out today like they have, he'd have it at 30.
I mean, it's like I'll always be fascinated by the coaching discussion. I do think, obviously, that systems and tactics and adjustments are very important in hockey. But then you watch playoff hockey, and then it's just like that team's just trying really hard. They're just not quitting. Like, again, I'm going to be saying this all through the playoffs, or at least until they're eliminated. And who knows? They could be eliminated Saturday night, but that's the Montreal Canadiens. That it's just this relentless teamwork, smart plays, get the puck to the dangerous areas, protect the dangerous areas. And yes, their goaltenders bailed them out, sure. So how much of hockey is X's and O's, and how much is just motivating your players and getting them to just play as close as they can to their potential all the time, or getting it out of them, or as I was talking about with the Draisaitl comment, getting it out of them at key times in the season, so when they get into tense moments in the playoffs, they have something to draw on, right?
Yep.
Like I like golf. Every pro golfer, Tiger Woods to anybody else, has hit brilliant shots and has hit absolutely garbage shots. Like Tiger Woods has hit into the water, into the bunker. Rory's done it. But when they get into a key moment, they're tied for the lead in a major on the 16th hole on Sunday. They have something to draw on.
Yeah.
Practice habits, execution in earlier moments, right? So, and how much of, I mean, we talk a lot about, and we've been bringing it up with Cassidy, like, well, a hard-ass coach or a no-nonsense coach, which is fair, but how much of motivating a player could be motivating without them sort of even knowing that you're motivating them? You know what I mean? Like there's the one thing there to go in there and yell or to give a peppy speech or to say, okay, guys, this matters, but how much could be just those little things to get them in the right mindset or have them going in the right direction, or little words or phrases or glances that could pump up a guy or make them feel good about themselves at the right time.
I think there's that too.
Like, it's not like Cassidy's going to go in there and if Cassidy takes over, it's not like he's going to go in there and yell all the time.
No.
I mean, people said, well, Knoblauch didn't show enough emotion. Well, okay, but there's that video of him in Detroit yelling at them after a game or during an intermission. I mean, I'm sure at times he did.
I think a head coach, a quality head coach, is almost a master manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten that.
You gotta be a little bit insane,
but you also have to be a bit of a salesman, as well. You have to be able to convince professional athletes, grown men, to do what you want them to do. I mean, listen to this is a list of the last 10 Stanley Cup winning head coaches, okay?
Okay.
This will not shock you. This will back up what we're saying. Paul Maurice, Bruce Cassidy, Jared Bednar, John Cooper, Craig Berube, Barry Trotz, Mike Sullivan. None of those would be in the category of cool cookie. These are badass dudes that know how to get the most out of their players. I mean, Paul Maurice was a clip machine last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The things he would say to his players on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But saying it with the most amount of love and care for that player. You could tell that he respected his players as much as his players respected him.
Yeah, but I also think that's why even good coaches in the NHL often have a short shelf life. Is because it's a lot of energy. Do this, and then for some of them, it's like, oh God, this guy again. Like, it amazes me the coaches like Cooper and Bednar that have coached for that long.
Well, and look at this list of how many of these coaches that are still there.
And Sullivan was there a while.
3, right?
Right.
So, yeah, maybe that's just the way things are going, Reid. Come in, do your thing, do your 2 to 3 years of service, and then get the hell out.
780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino has Tap 25, 50% off the entire menu, 7 days a week. That is from 2 to 5 p.m. rivercreeresort.com. 780-218-9999 is how you can text us this afternoon. In the nasty chat as well, a lot of comments coming in on there. Not a clue. Giving a player. Why are you yelling? Like, turn your caps off. Turn your caps lock off.
Well, you could read it like that.
Giving a player 8 minutes time on ice for a game does not motivate a player to do better. Well, okay. So, but we talked about this a bit yesterday. This is an ongoing thing. We overplay Leon and Connor. Every coach that has come through Edmonton has been at one point been criticized for that. That's not just a Knoblauch thing.
No.
Okay. So, if Cassidy, Cassidy won't do that. Yes, he will. At some point, Cassidy's going to get accused of playing Connor and Leon too much. That's just the nature of the position.
John Cooper played McDavid and McKinnon over 25 minutes in the Olympics.
Right.
It happens when you have the best players in the world.
Right. So while I would agree with that, you have to get other people involved. Those guys are going to play a lot. They're going to play the most. I would say I don't think it's the same for every player. I do think there are some players who were overlooked at times by Knoblauch. I mean, we talked about Lazar a couple times where it's like, remember that Calgary game? He played like 6 minutes, and we were like, we noticed him every shift. Yeah. Like, well, how does he not get up to 11 or 12? But there were other times where it's like, why are you putting where I understood why Knoblauch wasn't putting other players on the ice because they were doing nothing. Like here's what I would say to Not a Clue. It is the player's job to make the most of his ice time. Okay, if you're lower down in the lineup, okay, and you have 3 shifts in the first 10 minutes of the game, and you're not playing with energy and you're not ready to go, then I have no sympathy for you if your ice time gets cut. Okay, you know who you are as a player. You know you're not a star. You know what your role is. You know you have to work and hit and forecheck and block shots and get in the way. If you're not ready to go, you don't get any leeway. The star players get leeway, and it's not just like that on the Oilers. I'm sorry, everybody. It's not just like that on the Oilers. I know you want to sell that the Oilers stars are the only guys that get treatment like that. You're wrong. Now, yes, Cooper has benched guys once. Sure, other coaches might handle it differently, but that's just how hockey works. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, Ice 256 is in the chat. Sometimes McDavid and Dry are on the ice doing nothing and still get 25 minutes. Or even worse, Leon is doing a backhand no-look pass at the blue line and turns it over for a 3-on-1. I can't argue with you, but if the whole team is doing nothing, the better players are still going to get more ice time if everybody's doing nothing.
That's a fair point.
Because they might do something.
They have the capability of doing something spectacular,
right,
as well. So yes, they get more leeway. And Reid, that's not just the that's not just the Oilers. That's not just the NHL. That's not just professional sports. That's life. I'm sorry. Certain people get more leeway.
Yes.
Dustin Nielsen is a superstar here at Edmonton Sports Talk. He happens to own it, but he gets a lot of leeway.
Right.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Right. Yeah. So I understand. I share some of your criticisms, but I'm also saying there is a point where we just have to accept reality. You know, like I don't know what else to tell you. James says, what I don't get, if there was legitimate concern about the amount of hockey the Oilers have played, and if you're playing a compressed schedule, why would you play McDavid the most he ever has? Yeah, that's fair. All right, not a clue. You need to calm down. Okay, buddy? Like, cut the swearing in the chat. I rarely do this, but, like, seriously. We get it. You hate the Oilers. You hate other Oilers fans. You hate Edmonton Sports Talk. You hate us. You're going to argue with whatever we say. Like, just calm down. And I hate to say this, but Jay, sometimes you have to fire the customer. Go do something you're going to enjoy. Because, like, seriously, dude, enough. Calm down. Or if you're going to participate, grow up and try to participate with some level of maturity. All right? Like, seriously, dude. Like, it's just because you have a keyboard and have access to the chat doesn't mean you can speak with the language that you're using. Okay? You can disagree with us. Yes, you can argue. There's a certain way to do it with some sort of maturity. If you don't have that maturity, go somewhere else where maybe you'll be accepted, or go do something else. I'm serious. Okay? Like, we've seen you in there off and on for months. It's the same act over and over again. You're not impressing anybody. Okay? So either clean it up or go away. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We got fired up for Jemco when we get back.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are searching for a new head coach after relieving Craig Berube of his duties following 2 seasons behind the bench. The organization has yet to announce who will replace him. The NHL also announced the Calder Trophy winner today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer unanimously taking home the award after an impressive rookie campaign. Schaefer recorded 23 goals and 59 points while helping New York finish the season with 91 points. NHL playoff action continues tonight with one game on the schedule as the Avalanche battle the Wild. Colorado has the opportunity to eliminate Minnesota with a puck drop set for 6 p.m. Meanwhile, in Vegas, Golden Knights defenseman Brayden McNabb has been suspended for Game 6 of the series following his interference on Anaheim's Ryan Poehling. In MLB action, the Blue Jays close out their 3-game series against the Rays tonight after Tampa Bay claimed the opening 2 games. Dylan Cease is on the mound for Toronto, while Griffin Jax takes the mound for the Rays. That game is going on as we speak and is in the bottom of the 2nd inning, tied 0-0. Other games around the MLB tonight. Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0 earlier, and the Guardians beat the Angels. The Rockies and Pirates in the bottom 2nd, zeros for both teams. Bottom of the 2nd for the Reds and Nationals. That game is 5-4 for the Reds. And middle of the 3rd inning, it's 1-1 with the Red Sox versus the Phillies. And in the NBA playoffs tonight, the Cavaliers and Pistons continue their series with things tied at 2-2. Tip-off goes at 6 p.m. More of Reid Wilkins here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Coming up right after the break, I'm Ben Thompson, and you're up to date.
Goodwill is
One shopper. Finding something I never knew I needed. A jacket. A deal. One donor. Letting go of something so someone else can move forward.
One program participant.
Learning.
Trying.
Building skills.
Building confidence.
Building a future.
One purchase. One donation.
One job. One choice.
Goodwill is
The power of one. The power of one. The power of one.
The power of one.
Goodwill Industries of Alberta. It all starts with one.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Craig Button.
Leon Draisaitl said we've gone backwards. I've been very clear. 75 to 80% of this is on management. Don't change the coach. Bruce Cassidy is a hell of a coach. Feels like everybody wants to run Chris Knoblauch out of town. So chase him out of there. Bring in a new coach. They're not going anywhere near the Stanley Cup if they don't improve the roster. Full stop.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
When you bet with Play Alberta, you give back to Alberta. That's because it's the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. So next time you place a wager on your favorite team, know that you're also making a difference across the province through Alberta's General Revenue Fund. Visit playalberta.ca/EST to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/EST. Must be 18 plus. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's the weekend. The sun is out, and everyone, yes, even the kids, are bored. Bring them to the Canadian Brew House. Our patios have games to keep the whole family going, rooftop views, real turf to run around on, and misters for when the summer gets serious. Oh, and we've still got the game on. Always. All day. All weekend. All summer. The Canadian Brew House. Canada's best patios.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
All right, hope you're having a great day. We are in the Canadian Brew House studio. Oh, turn up the heat this May at the Canadian Brew House. The wing flavor of the month, roasted jalapeno poblano. They're outstanding, spicy, bold, bursting with roasted pepper flavor. Get them while they're hot for a limited time, till the end of the month. I'll probably be having some soon. Maybe not tonight, but probably soon. Hopefully maybe on a long weekend. I'll just eat wings all weekend. Who's stopping me? Who is going to stop me?
Next time you do, just save one for your boy Jay.
TBD. They're so good. Go get your own.
Isn't it Wednesday?
Isn't there a brew house in Ardrossan? in your cul-de-sac?
Yeah, I think there is.
There should be a brew house in every cul-de-sac.
There's a wonderful brew house in Sherwood Park.
Yeah. Ice House downtown Edmonton is great. We are over 100 thumbs.
Ernie. Oh, I thought he got him.
Oh, Ernie Clement, deep hit for you. Bottom of the second already. 2 on, 1 out for Clement. He flew out. He's a good player. Tough extra innings lost for the Blue Jays last night. All right, let's do Fired Up. You want to do Fired Up?
Sure. I have nothing. I have no idea what we could talk about.
I have stuff to talk about. I got to find the page here. Fired Up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right. Maybe something later tonight from the Oilers. I mean, at this point, I'm not expecting something before the end of the show. What were we saying? Apparently Jeff Jackson was flying into Edmonton today. So, okay, here. If you want me to speculate, here's what I expect now. That the Oilers announce something I don't know. Maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Good guess.
And then there's a news conference tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Maybe 9, 10, 11, noon, 1. I don't know when it would be.
Assuming that the big guys are flying back because they don't live here.
Because I'm assuming that if they're going to, I would assume they do it all at once, given how the timing of this.
So it would just
Ice 256 says they are waiting for you to go off the air. Pretty sure. No, I appreciate that. I don't know if he's being serious or not. They wouldn't be because they own a show that's on the air right now.
Sure.
So I would think that other things are happening.
So it's a announcement that they've relieved Chris Knoblauch of his duties. Thank you for your time. And an introduction of the new head coach?
Probably.
A 2-for-1.
It seems how this is trending. I mean, the Leafs just fired the coach. It seems with the way things are trending with the Oilers. Well, maybe not. Maybe it'll just be an announcement that there's no coach. Maybe it'll just be a Knoblauch gone.
Well, maybe
it wouldn't surprise me if the press release comes out. Oilers name Bruce Cassidy. How many coaches are we up to? 19th coach or whatever it is in franchise history. Yada, yada, yada. They give his resume. And then the Oilers thank Chris Knoblauch for his service and games coached and 2 appearances in the Stanley Cup final. That's how I think it would happen. Disc golfer. Isn't Trev a disc golfer? I don't think this is him.
No, he's a Frisbee golfer.
Have Bob announce it, then reveal he is the coach live on Oilers Now. Not sure Bob wants to coach if he was going to transition into another job.
Oh, he'd get hot under the collar behind the bench.
Yeah.
He gets hot in the intermission. Think of the amount of sweat. That'd be a tough gig.
All right. Who's that? Francis? Is it a possibility that Bowman gets cleared? It doesn't seem like it at this point. It seems like this is going to be a coaching staff thing.
Yeah, I feel like we would hear more smoke around Bowman's name if that was going to be a change here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, unless it's just going to be, unless it's going to be Bowman and the coaches, and now we got to hire everybody. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke around the coaching situation.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
So I was going to say, and you don't just make the coaching change and then wait to make a GM. You would do it all at once, I'd imagine.
Well, you can't make a coaching change and then bring in a new management group.
Yeah, exactly, because they didn't.
Right, they'd want
the
to have
the order of how things are going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, if the Oilers are announcing that there's a new head coach coming to town, then Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson are
back.
here to stay.
Yeah.
For now.
780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. A couple other things I want to note here. The National Football League is going on Wednesday again, right? So they did the Christmas week Wednesday games, and now they're going to have a Wednesday night game before American Thanksgiving, right? This is how this is going.
Okay.
So this is going to be Packers at Rams. They're calling it Thanksgiving Eve. I've never heard anybody call it Thanksgiving Eve before. Maybe they do that.
But if there's one group that can
that
make
can change, that can
It's-
change the way we talk about things, it's the National Football League.
Yes.
So now they're going to have a game on Thanksgiving Eve, so that'll be the Wednesday night, the triple header on Thanksgiving, and now they're going to have the Black Friday game, which they've had for the past couple of years. So Wednesday, one game, 3 games Thursday, a game Friday, and then their Sunday schedule.
I think the only day that is totally safe from the NFL regularly playing games on is Saturday.
Well, I
don't know
I'd
that
say
they
during
would,
college football after the end
they
of
do
November.
already. They play
Yeah,
like
they start
late
having
season games.
some December.
They have some wild card games on Saturdays, divisional games, yada yada yada. But regularly playing on a Saturday, I don't think they'd cross paths with the NCAA.
No, they generally respect this is where we get our players. And quite frankly,
I don't know if
might,
it's a respect
there might
thing.
be part of, on a Saturday, some people might sooner watch an SEC showdown
That's what
than
I'm
the
saying.
NFL, right?
They would be in a competition that they might not win. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
for sure. They would have to make sure there'd be a good matchup for that game.
Are we going to see a world where it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday regularly?
We could. They could try to work in more. I mean, now
I'm here for it. I have
they
no
have
problem.
a game every Thursday now. I mean, I can go back to. I mean, the NFL has kind of fluctuated on Thursdays, but now there's always a Thursday nighter. There's Saturday games, usually December and later in the season. Are there going to be more Wednesday games?
There's already 2 this
season. Will they be able to work it with teams coming off buys? And then what's Christmas week look like this year? 2026.
Christmas is on a Saturday. No.
So
Christmas is on a Friday. Boxing Day is a Saturday.
So could the NFL... Oh, where's Mike? That's the wrong year. What year is it?
Right now?
Yes.
2026.
Is it 26? AD or BC?
Silly boy.
Right. December's on a Friday. So will they might not have a game on Christmas Eve though, on the 24th. Would they? So
That's Thursday?
Yes. Could they have a game on December 20? Don't they usually skip Christmas Eve if it's an evening?
I think they do.
But it wouldn't surprise me if there's a game or two on Boxing Day and then all the games on the 27th. There'll probably be 2 games on Christmas Day this year on the 25th. Or would they even have a triple header? I don't know.
Maybe.
Like they don't care anymore about the NBA having games on Christmas Day.
No, because it's not in even a competition.
So would there ever be the point where there'd be would there be a point, like you and I are big football fans, but would there ever be the point where it's like, I just can't watch NFL 5 days a week? Like people have lives. Like I love watching games on Sunday,
Like, are you saying they could oversaturate their own product?
Yeah. Is there such a thing with the NFL?
I don't think there is.
There probably isn't. And I guess still, if at least if something is on, it's better than it not being on if they want eyes on the league.
And honestly, Reid, I think that has a large part to do with fantasy football.
Sure.
They could play games 6 days a week, 5 days a week, and you'd still have big time viewership. Fantasy football has taken the NFL to the moon.
Yes.
Will fantasy football take CFL to Regina? In relation to the moon. For the CFL going to Regina, that's pretty big.
Yep. Right.
Maybe Regina's not a great example because they have a team.
Yeah. To
Burnaby.
Yeah.
Yeah. If CFL came out, Benny, they're supposed to be coming out with CFL fantasy football. Are you going to play?
Yes. 100%.
Well, you have to play.
To me, like with my NFL knowledge, a lot of it comes from fantasy football. Like I know offenses way better than I know defenses because of fantasy football.
Sure.
And so yeah, like the CFL adding fantasy football is a huge add for them. But I think we talked about it on the Hangout when they were rumoring it or whatever it was. They need to make sure they execute it properly. Like they can't screw this up. To me, it's you're gonna catch my age demographic one time. You're gonna catch their attention one time. If you screw it up, you lost them.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point that Rod Zawacki 76 makes. Prop betting is also taking NFL to big heights.
Well, that's the thing. And I've watched NFL games that are blowouts down to the final whistle because I needed my receiver to get. He needed 2 more catches for 8 yards or whatever. Is he going to get them? James in the Nasty Chat says the league had some great humor if you can deal with the crudeness of it. James is often ashamed with me or upset with me. I'm going to upset James even further.
You've
James,
never seen the league?
I have the league on DVD. A buddy gave it to me on DVD, and I've never sat down to watch it. It sounds like my style of humor.
Yeah, you would like it.
Crudeness does not bother me. As
you would
people
like
know
it
if it's funny.
The league, man, that show, it should just be put in a time capsule.
Yeah, it was only a couple of seasons.
It wasn't
it?
long,
yeah.
but it was beautiful. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it on DVD. I don't know. I'm sure somebody streams it.
I mean, off season, it's time to get into.
But I watch other stuff. I'm a busy guy.
Make time for the Sopranos.
I gotta read Reacher.
Make time.
Reacher's on the prowl.
Reacher's gonna be there.
Several people have.
You got to watch The Sopranos.
Yeah, I got to watch The
Sopranos.
You got to watch. I got a lot to do. I got books to read. I got other shows to watch. I got board games to play. I got to try and golf this summer more than 3 times.
What's another show you haven't watched that I'm surprised you haven't watched? You haven't watched Breaking Bad, have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I've watched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The Sopranos, I think, is the big one for me that people say I should watch. I don't know what else would be up there. I mean, I didn't watch Friends, but I'm not going to go back and watch Friends. That's not like I go back and watch
not
it.
a
Style
must
of the show.
watch, I don't think.
You know what I want to watch? Actually, Onright recommended this to me. Now, maybe James Barrels knows about this or some other people. The Chair Company. I think it's on Crave. It's supposed to be incredibly weird. I guess it's a guy. So can somebody tell me if the Chair Company is actually good? Onright said it's good. Now, Onright's a weird dude. And we generally like the same stuff, but maybe it's so weird it's only Onright weird. But apparently the Chair Company is a guy, like his chair breaks at work and he gets really mad and starts investigating the company that made it or something and finds some conspiracy. Something like that. Apparently it's just super bizarre.
I've never heard of the Chair Company.
It's called the Chair Company. Have you heard of this, Ben?
Nope. Never.
I would think that James in the Nasty Chat would probably know about it. Or maybe have seen it. It's called the Chair Company. I think it came out last year, or is it earlier this year even? Yeah.
Came out in 2025.
Okay, so last year. Are you reading the whole synopsis right now?
Well, yeah, it follows Ron Trosper, a man whose embarrassing workplace incident involving a faulty chair leads him to investigate a far-reaching conspiracy involving the Chair Company.
Your dad has watched it, Benny.
Yeah, he's watched a lot of stuff.
He says it's just okay. I wasn't a big fan of it. All right. I'll check it out. Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Remember, playalberta.ca/EST. Good link to go to. And then go to work from there. Words of the day coming up. Here's Benny.
Craig Berube's time behind the Maple Leafs bench has come to an end after 2 seasons, as Toronto has officially relieved him of his head coaching duties. The club has not yet named a replacement. The NHL also handed out the Calder Trophy today, with Islanders rookie Matthew Schaefer earning unanimous recognition after a breakout rookie season. Schaefer posted 23 goals and 59 points while helping New York to a 91-point year. Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight with one matchup on tap between the Avalanche and the Wild. Colorado will look to close out the series with puck drops scheduled for 6 p.m. In Vegas, the Golden Knights defenseman Brandon McNabb has been suspended for Game 6 after being assessed discipline for his interference on Ducks forward Ryan Poehling. In MLB action, the Blue Jays finish off their 3-game series with the Rays tonight. Tampa Bay has taken the first 2 games of the set. Dylan Cease is on the mound for Toronto, while Griffin Jack starts for the Rays. That game is underway as we speak. Currently sitting top of the 4th inning, 0s for both teams. Other games around the MLB today, the Orioles beat the Yankees 7-0. The Guardians beat the Angels 4-2. You got the Pirates up 2-0 on the Rockies. Reds tied 5-5 with the Nationals. Red Sox tied 1-1 with the Phillies. The Tigers up 2-0 on the Mets. Cubs and Braves ties at 0. Same with the Padres and Brewers and Royals and White Sox. And in the NBA playoffs, the Cavaliers and Pistons meet tonight with their series tied at 2 games each. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show coming up right after the break. I'm Ben Thompson, and you're up to date.
EST Afternoons.
Everybody starts throwing out the Sebastian Cossa. So the answer to the goaltending problems with the Edmonton Oilers in the biggest year of this franchise history, 2 years left of Connor McDavid, is to roll Tristan Jarrio with Sebastian Cossa, who has 1 game of NHL experience. That's where you're going to go to Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and say, hey, we got the solution.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
At Firehouse Subs, our subs are freshly toasted, stacked high, and crafted to satisfy. Each sub is piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and toasted to perfection. Firehouse Subs brings bold flavor to every bite, all served on a freshly toasted roll. But we're not just feeding Edmonton, we're fueling it. Dig into the brisket hat trick, piled with slow-smoked brisket and melty cheese. Or go to the Firehouse Subs fan favorite, the Hook and Ladder. Made to order with smoked turkey, honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese on a perfectly toasted roll. With 15 Firehouse Sub locations across Edmonton and the greater area, it's easy to grab a hot and hearty sub close to home. Firehouse Subs. Hot, hearty, made to satisfy.
Your home for great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
God, I wish I could meet somebody like you online. She's got me in the friend zone.
Don't miss Morgan Jay's musical comedy May 23rd. 9 p.m. show is sold out. Second 6 p.m. show added. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you can afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Send it 0218-9999 is how you text us. River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, tap 25. My goodness, enjoy the prime rib special, just $21.99. That's available 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Dine in and takeout, just not available on show nights, rivercreeresort.com. All right. Yeah, we'll see if something happens with the Oilers. Maybe an announcement tonight on the coaching staff and who's it not or who's it not made up of and is made up of. And, of course, we'll keep you covered here on EST. I wonder, did you ever do their census? I did. I was leaving it, and then I think my mom casually mentioned to me, like, oh, you got to do it by May 12th. I was like, oh. So I did it yesterday morning.
I did it the day I got it just to be done with it.
I put it aside, and then I forgot to get to it. It doesn't take very long. I did it on my phone.
I lie on every question.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a dead man.
None of it is real.
Yeah.
Who am I? I don't know.
I'm a dead camel. I shouldn't have citizenship. Don't count me.
It's fine.
What? Don't lie. But what if you don't fill it out by May 12th?
You get a call. I don't know if they can actually punish you for not doing it, but
that's
you
just
will
like everybody forgot and be like, the population of Canada is 0.
Well, it's like how much percent of the population votes?
Well, not
35%.
Not enough. Yeah.
So that's probably about the same amount that does the census.
Yeah. Paws and Tails. That's a new one in the chat. Ever watch Buffy or Dexter? I have not. I think I've seen the first couple of episodes of Dexter. I'd probably like it. I didn't stay with it. So sorry about that.
I watched Dexter. I watched all of Dexter. I thought it was great. It was another one of those stories where the bad person is kind of turned into
an anti-hero.
An anti-hero. That's the right word. And it's a $500 fine if you don't complete your census, Reid.
Okay.
Can anybody confirm that they have actually been fined the $500? Is that just what they say?
Yeah, I'm sure there's been people fined. Time for Words of the Day, presented by the Edmonton Public Library. Speaking of reading, your free EPL library card can do more than you might expect, from books, movies, and video games to digital resources, creative spaces, and learning opportunities. There's something for everyone across Edmonton. Sign up online, epl.ca/sign up, or visit any of EPL's 21 locations to get started today. Just want to remind everybody, it is free. And actually, I said, speaking of reading, it's more than books.
There's a QR code right there. Take your phone, go up to the TV or whatever your computer you're watching it on, snap a photo of that, take you right to the website, get your free EPL membership.
I've had mine probably close to 15 years now, maybe not quite that long. I'm so grateful I got it.
It's a wonderful resource
when you need it. And yeah, there's a lot of ways to use the library. I mean, we could record a podcast there.
We should do a show from there.
Well, actually, we could. That would be fun. At the Milne downtown, they have that giant screen when you walk in. Like it's like a couple stories high. All right, let's do this.
Okay, first word of the day. Womble.
Womble. Well, I'm just going to dive in with the obvious spelling, or obvious to me. Wamble. Womble.
Spell that again, please.
Did I say something weird? W Womble?
Yeah, I wasn't
Wamble. The judge wasn't paying attention. Womble. I mean, it makes me think of wobble, but it probably doesn't mean that. I will say it is. Okay.
Trust your gut.
I will say it is a. It is a shaky, an unsteady way of walking. I guessed. I should be partially deducted because you gave me a bit of a hint, like 0.25 or something.
Off. So you got 1.75 out of 2.
0.25 off?
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
You got a problem with that?
Is that what it means?
So the actual definition is move unsteadily or with a weaving or rolling motion.
And I said an unsteady way of walking?
People womble when they're drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, 1.75 out of 2. Not bad.
Okay. Brock. Second word of the day, panacea. Panacea.
P-A.
Oh, hang on. I just forgot to mention. These are Bootski edition number 23, by the way. Panacea.
P-A-N-A-C-E-A. We might have had this before, but a panacea, I believe, is like a wide variety or something that includes all the varieties of something. like
We did have this before,
Benny's CD
and
collection.
you got it wrong.
Benny's CD collection was a panacea of 80s rock. Yeah, I think that's what I thought
Would
it was.
you like it in a sense?
I didn't learn anything apparently the first time.
Would you like it in a sense?
Yes.
Technology has not proven to be a panacea for all our problems.
A fix-all? Is that what it means? Okay, so I didn't learn anything the first time.
A cure-all remedy or medicine believed to solve all problems.
I wasn't close at all with my
diseases
first one.
and difficulties.
Well, it has to do. Yeah. Okay.
So 3.25?
Yes. Hey, that's not bad. 3.25.
It's not bad, Reid, for a Wednesday.
Ernie Clement-like average.
Pretty good.
All right. We got to go. Live stream resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. They are also on 95.7 Cruise FM. I'm sure there will be Oilers stuff to talk about. On behalf of Ben Thompson and Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Have a good night.